He's such a hard horse that I wouldn't dare to do that with another horse. But he took, he won very easily, so he wasn't tired after that, and he travels so well that I've got no many races to go for anyway, because in France he's a gelding and he's not allowed to Group 1 races.
Well, good luck to you here.
Thank you. Bye bye.
He is a star international performer, Jim and Tonic, and Willie, he could give them all a fright, couldn't he?
Yes, it's a little bit worrying that he's globe-trotting, and he has travelled, it was 27 days ago, he raced in Hong Kong. But aeroplanes nowadays are getting very good for travelling horses around, and we've learnt a lot in the last, sort of 5-6 years about how to travel horses to race.
We certainly have, and we've learned how to go and get the money, because that horse with his travelling has earned more win and place prize money than any other runner in this field. He's won nearly £750,000. And I tell you, the thing that worried me more there was when Francois Dumaine says it's softer than we expected to be. To be. His best form's on good to first.
It is. He's in Hong Kong. You wouldn't get soft ground in Hong Kong. It'd be very, very firm there. And the jockeys reported after the earlier races today that the ground is soft and sticky. So that's possibly the sticky bit is what this horse doesn't want.
Well, let's take a quick check on the market, because this odds-on favourite, it's not great for viewers at home wanting to support an odds-on favourite, but he's certainly being supported here on the course. 7-4 on now into Carb. It's 9-2, having touched 4-1 Jim and Tonic. 9-1 Flight of the Stars. He could have a big chance. And they've taken the 10-1 about Al Mushtarak. He's now 9-1, 14-1 Tomba, and 20-1 Duck Row. There's Tomba. This is Brian Meehan's runner. He's won 11 races in his career, loves the soft ground. The last time Kieran rode him, he won a Group 1 race, the Prix de la Forêt at Longchamp. That was over 7 furlongs. He's actually the only Group 1 winner in the field.
Yes, he's a horse that is very tough, loves the soft ground, so there's nothing wrong there. The 7 furlongs is possibly his best distance, but this is a mile. It's just stretching him slightly, and you would think possibly the company a little bit too good.
Yeah, he might not stay. Just going around there behind the stalls was Flight of the Stars with the white cap. Now, last year, Godolphin won this race with their supposed pacemaker, Cape Cross, and Flight of the Stars, a very capable horse. He looked magnificent in the paddock. He and Duck Row both make the running, and Flight of the Stars will be good enough to stay out there in front. But they're loading up fairly quickly now. We're really expecting Intercarb to prove his class here. That's Tomba going forward. We'll go up and get the views of Jim McGrath, Duck Row there at the back, Jim. Willie, you just want to make a comment about him?
Well, this horse, Duck Row, made all the running last time. He's up in class today. And another one with a different jockey on. Sebco's agent obviously left the phone off the hook.
Seb Saunders, I think.
Seb Saunders, sorry.
Sebco he was
Seb
a miler,
Saunders,
but
sorry, missed the ride on this horse, but I don't think he'll be making a running today.
Well, let's get up to Jim McGrath, because I know he has pretty strong views on this. Jim, I think Flight of the Stars, if anything, is going to cause a surprise. It might be Flight of the Stars.
Well, you remember last year, Claire, we had Cape Cross just stayed in front for Godolphin, and the better fancy runner finishing behind them. Let's see this time. Ready and racing. Now Mr. Mustarak just missed the beat. On the near side, going on in the white cap, Flight of the Stars from Tomba, who's up there, and Intercab jumped well. They're followed by Al Mustarak and Jim and Tonic, and Duck Row is last of all as they go through the first furlong and a half, and they're coming up the centre of the course, dead centre here, and the leader, Flight of the Stars, by 2 lengths to Intercab, and a lather of sweat there, 1.5 lengths to Tomba on the near side, followed by Al Mustarak, then Duck Row, and the French raider Jim and Tonic is last of all. They're going fast. Out in the centre of the course as they range up past the 5 furlong marker is the Godolphin second string, Flight of the Stars, by 3 lengths to Intercab. 1.5 lengths away then is Al Mustarak, followed by Duck Row, Tomba on the near side, and they're followed by Jim and Tonic. But racing up now onto the course proper, they've got under a half mile to travel in the Lockinge, and the leader is still Flight of the Stars from Intercab, going okay from Al Mustarak. Duck Row is being pushed along, then Tomba and Jim and Tonic coming up though inside the 3. He says go on, Flight of the Stars, 1.5 lengths in front. Intercab being asked to quicken now, followed then by Al Mustarak, and behind them Jim and Tonic now, followed by Tomba. It's Flight of the Stars about to be tackled by Intercab. Then on the far side, Jim and Tonic is battling on well from Al Mustarak. Flight of the Stars is still there, a furlong out. Intercab hasn't found a great deal from Jim and Tonic and Al Mustarak. Half a furlong left to go. Flight of the Stars in front. Jim and Tonic trying hard. but it's another Godolphin second string that's going to win the Lockinge. It's Flight of the Stars who gets there from Gym and Tonic second, third Al Mustarak, followed by Intercab in fourth, and a long gap to Tomber and Duck Row. Well, second year in a row that it's happened. Last year with the 20-to-1 chance Cape Cross, and this time with Flight of the Stars. No slouch, of course, on his day, and getting the money at fairly good odds. Number 3, Flight of the Stars. The Godolphin second string, trained by Syed bin Sarour and ridden by Willie Supple, has led all the way in the Juddmonte Lockinge. Second is Gym and Tonic on the far side, owned by J.D. Martin, trained by Francois Duman, and ridden by Jérôme Mosse. And third, Al Mustarak there. Fourth is Intercab, and a long gap then to Tomber in fifth, and sixth and last is Duck Row. Just checking those placings again. Flight of the Stars first, Gym and Tonic second, the winner at 9-to-1, and third, number 1, Al Mustarak, owned by Hamad El Mutawa, trained by Camel Mahdi, ridden by Olivier Pallier, and fourth is number 4, Intercab. It's officially a photo for second, but the winner there on screen, Flight of the Stars, a horse that Claire liked very much indeed.
Yeah, it's not often I get it right, Jim, but there was always a danger this might happen. Very classy horse, Flight of the Stars. He made the running when Willie Supple, a former champion jockey in Dubai, or currently champion jockey in Dubai, said go. He kept picking up. At this moment, Willie, you said to me, oh, the favourite's not going to win. You knew it here.
Yes, well, it's a long time since he ran, and this sticky ground has... it's possibly taken its toll. He hasn't got home, and I do think that this horse possibly is better at 7 furlongs. He's by Red Ransom, who is not known, you know, they're known for speed rather than anything else, and he hasn't got home today on this ground. That's obvious that he hasn't ran his race. The better is to come, but the winner did a job, went out there, made a good pace of it, and they couldn't get at him.
Gym and Tonic's run a very brave race.
Very brave race under the circumstances, with the ground like it is. He's run very well. 27 days since he last ran in Hong Kong. And the third horse, well, he ran a cracker. He was going best, but that's the way he likes it. He likes to be dragged up there.
But a very classy performance that by Flight of the Stars, returned at 9-to-1. Gym and Tonic second at 9-2, and Al Mustarak was third at 9-1. Don't undervalue that, because that was a very good performance. Flight of the Stars, an extremely useful horse, formerly owned by Peter Saville and Godolphin, with runners all over the world this weekend. They got Worldly Manor in America. They also had a runner yesterday in Italy, where Darrow Donoghue finished 10th of 18 on Lender Hand in the K.O. Hay Spring Cup, and he then jumped on a plane to Italy, where he rides Central Park tomorrow in Rome. But they've done it again here, the boys in blue.
Yes, well, you see there's the Richard Hills there on the hot favourite there. Well, he has had leg trouble. He's had these sort of problems with his legs, and they must have had troubles in training him. They couldn't do their best with him.
Richard Hills, though, said he'd been working with Flight of the Stars and working all over him. And you get on a race course and he can't get near him. It happens, doesn't it?
Because the ground is not like that in the gallops at home. And the line
comes there cruising under Cash Asmussen, Dark Moon Dancer in the yellow colours with the sheepskin noseband, set sails for home. And you think that when Cash asks this horse, he's going to quicken up and go by him. But in actual fact, Dark Moon Dancer just pulls out a little bit more than anticipated. But this wasn't a bad run for his start of this new campaign. Not a big horse. There's no doubt that he'll handle the course.
Dale Army, another tough performer, reappeared in the Tattersalls Rogers Gold Cup at the Curragh Irish Guineas weekend. It was hard work for him a long way out. They went a good gallop, and it was Shiva on the outside who came and collected. But look at Dale Army here. He looks going to be well beaten at this stage, and in the end he's no match for Shiva, but he sticks to his task well, and that's the one thing you can depend on, that he tries. And horses have various levels of ability. It doesn't matter how much ability they've got. If they haven't got their heart, or their heart isn't in the job, it doesn't matter. This horse really gives his all.
Yeah, the two greys, the two biggest money spinners in the field, 809,000 Dale Army, but our eye-catcher Silver Patriarch, 801,000. Dale Army, Royal Anthem impressed on the way to post. Royal Anthem and Dreamwell in the ring. Dale Army and Silver Patriarch, negatives there.
So they kick away then. for the Vodafone Coronation Cup. Expect the early pace to go with either Royal Anthem on the right or on the left of the white cap Central Park. They're normally free and front runners, and these two cut out the early work on this stiff climb to the first half mile to the top of the hill, then regroup and reorganize and then set sail down the hill. But it's Central Park that shows the way. Has made the running in the past, is doing just that as they continue this uphill climb to green cap. Royal Anthem showing second. Right, the red colours is Borgia, German Derby winner. Then Silver Patriarch and Fruits of Love and Dale Army, and Catch Asmussen Dream Well sits 7 of 7 as they come to the top of the hill. And it's Central Park that leads. Central Park, Royal Anthem go 1 and 2. The pace looks quite sedate, so we could be in for a sprint finish here. Who's going to inject the pace? Who's going to play late? Well, obviously, Catch Asmussen is going to play late on Dream Well. White cap at the back, Fruits of Love, the orange colour on the outside, with Gary Stevens riding him. He knows exactly how good Royal Anthem is. He won on him in Canada. Horses have been running all round the world, and they've come here to contest this Group 1 prize, the best Coronation Cup for many a year. Past the halfway stage shortly, and still Central Park has it. 2 Royal Anthem, and Borgia runs the rail, and the brace of greys, the outside Silver Patriarch, who defends his crown, the Peter Winfield jacket. Dale Army on the inner of him, the Eclipse winner. Then Fruits of Love, good enough to go out and race in Hong Kong, and dual Derby winner is Dream Well. They're just quickening the tempo. Darragh O'Donoghue, a great tactical rider from the front. Very good clock in his head. He still has the edge, though, on Central Park. Royal Anthem, one of the biggest gambles of the year, comes through, swinging there nicely as they begin the descent and round Tattenham Corner now. And as they make this final turn, still Central Park to Royal Anthem 1 and 2, quickening up Borgia, Dale Army in behind them, Dream Well with a mountain to climb. But what a power horse this is. It's Royal Anthem to Dale Army, who comes into second place. Silver Patriarch, it's impossible for him to win from there. They come down past the 2 furlong marker, and Royal Anthem with a giant stride comes to sweep majestically into the lead. But here comes Dale Army the grey, then Dream Well under a drive, Borgia red colours, and then Silver Patriarch. Central Park drops away inside the final furlong now, and it's still Royal Anthem, but Dale Army conquers close home, and Dale Army comes on to win the Vodafone Coronation Cup. Royal Anthem second, Dream Well are running on third, Silver Patriarch an honest if beaten fourth, then Borgia and Fruits of Love, and well back with Central Park. This was a thriller. Quite right, Frankie. 1 up, a few to go. But number 2, Dale Army, in the colours of Godolphin. Saib bin Saror has won this. Frankie Dettori, another Group 1 prize. And when this horse came galloping through big engagements last year, Sheikh Mohammed, the owner, said that this could be another Swain. He is a colossal horse. Dale Army, a smashing horse, a grey, and he was galvanised by Frankie Dettori at 92. Second horse home is number 5, Royal Anthem. Just pipped, possibly a mile and a half at the extreme limit of his stamina. And third horse home was number 3, Dream Well, who came from a long way off the what looked to be a slow pace. It'll be fascinating to see how the time unfolds, but no doubt about it, Dale Army has won 8 and another group winning race. Who knows the next way?
It all looks easy in the end, but this horse has been given a wonderful ride by Frankie Dettori. Just positioned him perfectly throughout. They didn't go a good gallop. I'm not sure whether that was tactics.
The Derby eventually took its name. Tossed a coin. Derby beat Bunbury. And from above, Kieran Fallon's mount, Ramruma relaxed, and further out, Mick Kinnan and Cash Asmussen in the yellow on Crystal Downs. There's Richard Quinn on Simon Dow's Frippet. What a great triumph that would be for Epsom and for Simon if she could win. And always tense moments. You get 1 or 2 that are a little bit stall shy. The ones that have gone in, the jockeys look round anxiously to see that they're not going to be delayed too long. There's Clacton. I was at Goodwood last time, as Derek's just told you. She's a big filly. She probably doesn't like being in. It's a bit cramped for her, and has to be hauled in. Late manoeuvres at the stalls, late manoeuvres in the market. 9 to 4 Zarat Dubai, 11 to 4 Ramruma. 11 to 2 Claxon, 8 Sunday Picnic Sun Spangled, 9's Kilting on the Drift, 16 to 1 Crystal Downs, 50s or bigger, the other two.
Jim, it's amazing the fact that she's been on her toes for the best part of 20 minutes. She's hardly turned her hair.
Well, that's women for you, Franks. Yes, I can hear all the...
all the girls
they'll all
in
be
the
writing in
background,
now, yeah.
So Zarat Dubai, the last to load. Kick away for the Vodafone Oaks. Where does the early pace come from? Claxon in the firing line. Zarat Dubai on the right of the picture with Sunday Picnic and Frippet and Kilting sitting a little bit off the pace. Crystal Downs goes for the front and Ram Rumour is there and Claxon the far side. So uphill then through the first quarter mile, and it's Claxon leading by about a half to Zarat Dubai, by a neck to Kilting, by a half to Sunday Picnic, by a half to Ram Rumour, by a length to Frippet, by a neck as they go past the 10 furlong marker to Nushki. A length back is Crystal Downs with Samampura and Sun Spangled meeting this rising ground on an even stride, but it's a very short and stroppy one at that. They come through the first 3 furlongs now, and it's Claxon and a Padedry that just has the edge. Ram Rumour sits in second place. That's in the dark green jacket of Prince Fahd Salman, and the filly named after his daughter. White cap the rails is Kilting, then the dark blue of all dark blue is Zarat Dubai. The red sleeves, Sunday Picnic, a Japanese bred filly. Yellow colours the inside goes Nushki, it's named after a place in Pakistan. Couple of lengths back to Frippet. And so Claxon, big lop-eared filly at the top of the hill, come towards the halfway stage, has the edge. Pat Heddery going for his 4th Oaks. On the outside, Ram Rumour, trained by Henry Cecil, going for his 6th. And of course, Kieran Fallon won it on reams of verse. White cap is Kilting getting closer. Stable companion Zarat Dubai, just like an exercise piece of work at Newmarket this. Sun Spangled still towards the back. So too Frippet. Miss Amampuri, the white cap worn by Michael Roberts, who won the race on Intrepidity, still sits at the back. But they've passed the 5, down to the 4, and it's still Claxon who leads. Claxon with Ram Rumour on the outside, then Zarat Dubai swinging along very nicely, thank you, the outside of Kilting, then Nushki, Philip Robinson angling for a run, Sunday Picnic on the outside of these, then we've got Crystal Downs, Sun Spangled still at the back, down the straight they come, and the tempo is being wound up by Padedry on Claxon the rail, with Ram Rumour putting in a big run and into the lead. Claxon under pressure now. Zarat Dubai, the yellow colours, Nushki could get placed, then Sunday Picnic staying on as they come down past the 2. It's Ram Rumour, catch me if you can, says Kieran. Leads to second place, Zarat Dubai with a big run. Yellow colours the outside, Nushki, red sleeves, Sunday Picnic. They race inside the final furlong now, and Ram Rumour with a 2 lead over Nushki in second, and then Zarat Dubai can find no more, and so Ram Rumour comes home to give Henry Cecil his 6 Oaks. Ram Rumour the winner, 2 in second place, Nushki tight for 3rd, Zarat Dubai, Sunday Picnic, then Claxon and Sun Spangled and Miss Amampuri, followed by Crystal Downs, who beat Kilting, who was wilting in the home straight, and the back marker last of all was Frippet. And so at 3 to 1, Ram Rumour has won this, and Kieran Fallon has taken his 2nd Oaks. Gets a pat on the head there from Frankie on Zarat Dubai. The winner then is Ram Rumour, the homebred Diocese filly, in a fast time, brave performance, 3 out of 3 this season, and clearly progressive. 2nd horse home is Nushki, Philip Robinson ride. Those words of John Frankham ringing in your ears now. If you didn't take that 50 to 1, big price, he said before the race. Quite right, he was too. 3rd horse home is number 10, Zarat Dubai. His head just a length in a neck, possibly a head or a neck in front of Sunday Picnic, who comes home 4. So the result of this, the Vodafone Oaks, the winner is number 7, Ram Rumour.
Yeah, Henry Cecil's 21st Classic success and Kieran Fallon's 4th. And what a tough filly she's proved up the straight. We've talked about conditions. They went a good pace here, and a lot of them haven't got home, Joe.
No, but at the 3 furlong marker, the writing was on the wall. I was disappointed with Claxon. I think maybe the ground was a little bit on the soft side for her. But having said that, You'd almost say that about this filly, Ramruna. You'd say she'd be better on a better surface. But the Lingfield form really held up here. And she was almost off the bridle at the top of the hill. And as you reminded me, that was also the case at Lingfield. She just takes a while to get herself warmed up. But when she does, she really puts her heart and soul into it. And she was being stretched from a long way out from Kieran Fallon. And he's hit the front a long way from home on Royal Anthem. He's done the same again on this filly. And she's seen out the trip really well.
Ramruma, an 11-4 chance with Ladbrokes in the offices this morning, generally at 5-2, touched 7-2 on the course, returned the 3-1, clear second favourite Ramruma, and beats Nushki, sent off a double carpet 33-1. Little nibbles for that at 50 and 40-1, that Nushki to run a big race, with Zarat Dubai third, the top of the head, the 9-4 favourite, and that punter loses his £44,000 with Victor Chandler on course. The fourth was Sunday Picnic, sent off at 8-1. But that Ramruma, the 47th horse to win the Lingfield Oaks trial.
The last one to be loaded up will be Oath. That will be the last to go in. The most experienced jockey in the race is Pat Edry. He's been here 26 times before, and he rides Salford Express, and he's hoping to get his 4th Derby win here. You can see now behind the starting stools, these horses are really on their toes. That horse definitely sweating up very badly. Others looking quite calm at the moment. Frankie Dettori's horse is also sweating up now. Dubai Millennium. He'll be coming out of this side, and there is a noticeable steep rise this side, which seems to be less on the far side. Last year's winning jockey, Olivia Pelly, wiping the sweat off Val Royal as he is loaded up. The seconds are ticking away, and you can see the sweat now pouring off Saffron Walden. Last to go in will be Oath in the green and white stripes.
Well, as the seconds tick away, those who are sweating up, so may have partially ruined their chance where it is Salford Express. In very good terms themselves now. Saffron Walden being blindfolded. And they're showing all the signs of having these extraordinary preparations, unlike any other race, slightly got to him. It can be difficult going into the stalls, has been in the past. Halfway in, halfway. Still not fully in Saffron Walden. His prep and goes to Dubai Millennium. Over to GG for the 1999 Vodafone Derby.
With Kieran Fallon on Oath, the last to load. Soon be set for this roller coaster race of the year. And they kick away with a very good level break. Dahlia Paul with early pace, and also Dubai Millennium look towards the right. Oath follows that group, and all the way the local hero is up with the pace too. On the extreme left, Salford Express takes the dog leg, leading from on the inside. Housemaster Glam sits midfield with Compton Admiral in midfield, through the rise at the back of the pack, and so negotiating the first turn, and as they come across the track, it's all the way from Oath holds a good position. On the inside, Val Royal, these are 1, 2 and 3. Frankie on Dubai Millennium sits about 3 lengths off the pace. Red Cap of Salford Express is in a good position. A little bit of jockeying there, and possibly Housemaster, an unlucky horse at that position, but they've sorted themselves out now, and it's all the way out in front, out of trouble, that has the edge here. To Val Royal, the inside of Salford Express, and then Dahlia Paul and Oath. And behind these, Dubai Millennium, and then Zarja with Housemaster behind that now. Lucido midfield. Beatles on the outside, out of trouble. Through the rye, one of the back markers is well out the back. Adair, the big horse from America, is nearer last and first. Saffron Walden is well down the pack at this stage, and they're at the top of the hill now. Shortly past the halfway stage in the Vodafone Derby, with all the way leading. 2 Salford Express in second, and Dahlia Paul holding a good position, and Val Royal, the French jocks, are in a good posse. Then 5 is Oath, 6 Lucido getting closer. Zarja, Dubai Millennium beats all the outside. And then we have Housemaster followed by Compton Admiral, Glam, Saffron Walden on the outer, and then Adair, Brancaster towards the back, and so too is Through the Rye. They begin the descent to Tattenham Corner now, and all the way Jimmy Murder still just has the edge. Red Cap, Salford Express running a big race. Dahlia Paul and Oath with the white bridle, grey colours the inside, Val Royal. Dubai Millennium's been shuffled down the pack. Zarja holds a good position. They're round in Tattenham corner, come down the home run now. And still all the way has it Daliapur the outside. Red Cap is still Salford Express, very little change. Oath on the outer, from the back beat all starts to run. Val Royal, he's looking for room on Dubai Millennium, doesn't find any. Lucido in a barging match, they come past the two. And here comes Oath under Kieran Fallon on the outside of Daliapur and Gerald Mossy head to head. From the back beat all starts to pick up. Housemaster with a giant run, then all the way and glance inside the final furlong now, and I swear it's Oath in the lead up towards the line. Oath is going to win the Vodafone Derby. Daliapur is second. It's tight for third on the nod between Housemaster and Beat All, then all the way and glance, and Saffron Walden, and then behind that one, Compton Admiral, then Dubai Millennium and Val Royal and Zarja and Salford Express and Brancaster and Lucido. What a disappointment that one, and last of all was Through the Rye. And so the result of this, the Vodafone Derby, it's gone to the triumphant classic team of the year. For number 11, Oath has won this. Henry Cecil's 22nd classic, his 4th derby. Kieran Fallon on his 4th derby ride has landed the biggest pot of gold, and Oath has come home well. Remember Commander-in-Chief for Henry Cecil, remember Reference Point, remember Cliff Anchor, but you'll remember this one. Oath, the simplest name in the book, but a real wear-down performance. Well, we talk about horses travelling with rhythm. Well, like the clickety-clack on the train or the track, he had rhythm to spare, for he's come home in great style. Champion jockey Kieran Fallon rides his first Derby winner.
Wonderful performance. We've had 3 Group 1 races here in the last 2 days, and this combination, Henry Cecil, Kieran Fallon, they've taken the Oaks, they've taken the Derby, second in the Coronation Stakes. But this was a wonderful, tough performance.
Kieran Fallon, what a meeting, an Oaks, and now a Derby.
That's his race. So if you have the horse, you can win.
Yes! Kieran Fallon! Is this your best moment?
It must be, yeah.
It's a good old Irish smile there. When did you think you'd won?
He travelled well all the way around. Just got a little bit lost halfway around the turn, but he's picked up good in the straight. He looked in a little, so he did. That's where the track throws them. I was just hoping I'd stay off. Gerald's, you know, hoping to interfere with him. I knew I had the horse to take me to the line. He did.
And what would you like to say to the boss, Henry Cecil?
Well, without him, I wouldn't be here.
And without you, he wouldn't have won another Derby. Well done.
Wouldn't have said that.
Well, Kieran Fallon, what a success since he came from County Clare. Started his racing career in Ireland, moved to Jimmy Fitzgerald, and has slipped into the mantle of champion jockey. Got better and better over the last 3 seasons, and copybook ride that Lester Piggott himself would have been proud of. Sure, it's easy to say if you've got the horse and to travel, you can do it, but you've still got to deliver, and he did. And it's another for Henry Cecil, his 22nd classic success. Let's see it again.
Let's have a look at this from the air, because a little bit of bumping in Ebor, and he's got 3 horses in front of it at the moment. All the way, who's led all the way. Salford Express following, Daliapur on the outside, travelling probably best of all at this point. The French Raider, Val Royal on the inside, just beginning to get hold of the winner, Oath, at this point, Kieran Fallon. But just have a look, once they straighten up and he begins to lengthen his stride, he quickens up. Daliapur's the one he's got to beat at this point. Gerard Mossy going for everything, had the rail to run against. I thought that would help him, but Oath was the better horse on the day. He was the one who travelled best, coped with all the undulations, and found that little bit extra in the last 150 yards.
Huge applause surrounding me. The very popular Oath wins for Kieran Fallon and Henry Cecil, returned the 13-2 joint second favourite. They had Oath. It was a 7-1 and 13-2 chance in the offices this morning, except Hills. They knew they only went 6-1 against Oath. The runner-up, what a blinder he.
9-4 behind me, but if you return the SP now, it would return 2-1. Fly to the Stars 9-2 on the ridges of the threes. He's back. It's now 11.
The actual running of it, because Shiva was one of the first to be beaten. She didn't cope with the ground at all, and I think in the end she's finished second last. Chester House, though, Willie, looked like he'd go on and take it, and then is swallowed up by these, particularly Lear Spear and Fantastic Light running on well, and no disgrace for Tsar on his first start for 276 days. Amazing.
It's a good run by him. The favourite there, he was committed very early there by Kieran. He put him into the race very, very early, and when he went past the furlong pole there, he just kinked. Because Kieran was putting him under strong pressure, and he looked as though he had nothing more to give. And of course the other horses pounced then. You got Lear Spear and Fantastic Light who coming round there. There you see
20-1 the winner. I mean, he was the outsider of the field. Very popular victory this will be, though, for David Ellsworth, who's had so much success over the years with both jumpers and flat horses. Most famous, of course, for training Desert Orchid, but In the Groove was a great filly.
She was good, but this horse who ran at Epsom last time was very impressive at Epsom, but that was on slowish ground. But the ground today made no difference to him. He's ran a great race. And Mick Canaan, of course, we've seen him in this position many, many times before. He's a top class jock, and as was the second and third. But it was a funny race there, because our two favourites just dropped away. Shiva couldn't handle the ground. She looks as though she has to have cut in the ground, because her knee action was very round.
And the 11th Royal Ascot winner for David Ellsworth. Jim, that was quite something, wasn't it?
Certainly was a great win, Lear Spear, and a horse that David Ellsworth pinpointed as a good type quite a while ago as well. In fact, 2 seasons ago. Head 2.5 lengths were the distances. Time 2:04.37. And Mick Canaan rides for David Ellsworth in the Gold Cup on Thursday. He'll ride Persian Punch. He's also got Sugarfoot to come, and all those 2-year-olds of Aidan O'Brien. So maybe he might be the value as the possible winner of the London Club's trophy. But the winner there, Lear Spear. Let's check the full SP with Angus.
Thanks, Jim. The result of the Prince of Wales Stakes, there was a £500 each way bet for that Lear Spear right at the end. Nevertheless, it returned 20-1. That's first number 6, Lear Spear, 20-1. Second number 8, Fantastic Light at 14-1. Third number 7, Tsar at 4-1. The unplaced favourite there was Chester House at 2-1. Lear Spear 20-1, but one punter right at the end there had £500 each way at 20-1, so not a surprise to him.
And David Ellsworth, as I was saying, his 11th Royal Ascot success, but he hasn't had one, I don't think, since 1990. He'll be very happy. He's with Jonathan Nabb.
Yeah, happy scenes down here in the winners' enclosure. A man who's had plenty of winners in the past. Claire was saying 1990, your last Royal Ascot winner, but this was worth waiting for.
Yeah, we've come close since, but this was Lear Spear was a horse that is well documented now. I keep telling everybody he's rapidly improving, but he's a wonderful little horse who's continued to improve, and it wasn't a total surprise he won. You can ask my bookmaker, but I mean, I'm so pleased. What can you say? It's wonderful.
He was a pretty cheap horse too, wasn't he, David?
Yeah, that's the only ones I can afford. But he wasn't here. To be perfectly honest, I was trying to catch a plane from Atlanta to Gatwick, and I'd booked a ticket, and I had to be at the airport at a certain time, and I was trying to fill up the load. I bought a couple, and he was an afterthought. And I think that's probably the best way to buy them, obviously.
Well, he's certainly done you proud. He won well at Epsom, and he won the Cambridgeshire in the past. This was a step up to Group 2. He's done it really well in the end.
Yeah, as I said, it wasn't a total surprise, because horses are magical creatures, and when they start to improve, you never know where they're going to stop. And you know, this horse is in the Eclipse, and that's where I'll probably take him next.
Well done, David. Very popular result.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to ride this, perhaps go into the last furlong, ride in Chester House with Kieran Fallon. You can see him swinging into the straight here with Limpid just in front. Kieran Fallon hard at work on Chester House, just on his right. They've straightened up now. And Chester House, I wonder if he's just beginning to feel the ground a tiny bit, because Kieran's had to go for everything to get him to pass Limpid. Well, if you watch in a moment, we'll pick it up in a minute, Graham. He starts to feel the ground all the way, and there's no stronger rider than Kieran, and as you see there, he's asking him. In a moment you'll see him run away from Kieran's forceful riding, stick in his left hand, and you can just see Limpid just coming off the rail a bit, but here he goes. He runs under Limpid's neck, and in a moment you'll just see him hit the rails, and in fact he shied away from it, and but after that his chance had gone.
And the fact of the matter is they've gone a furious pace early on here, and these front two have come from a long, long way back. And that is the key to Lear Spear. He must settle at the back off a really fast pace, and the race has been run to suit him today.
So a furious pace in both our first two races. They really have started off lickety-split, and the horses from behind in the second race getting up, but the front runner Cape Cross getting up in the first race. Well, that Prince of Wales's stakes, the disappointments. Chester has finished fourth in the end. Shiva a long way back, and Jonathan, I think, has been catching up with some of the news of the beaten runners.
Yes, we spoke to Henry Sussel afterwards. Both his horses were disappointing, really. Chester House, he felt, was going fine, and I think he was hoping he would win.
Trying to get more.
And in the background there you can see those blue colours of Godolphin, number 1 Al Jabba. He did a really good gallop at Newmarket on Friday morning, really impressive, and I think that's why he's the price he is today, despite having been off the track for nearly 9 months. Getting a bit warm down at the start, but it is a hot day here at Ascot, and I think he's not on his own there. That's number 1 Al Jabba.
He likes to be kept up somewhere near the pace all the way. He's drawn 2. Tactics, I think, are going to play a big part in this race. I think we'll see Frankie Dettori, Graham, getting a good start and trying to get across to the rails.
Yeah, centre walk going down. We're talking of tactics. He's drawn 11 of 11, Jimmy, right against the inside rail. And it's usually settled in his races as well. So Gerald Mosse is going to have to find a path through in the straight, isn't he, when he gets there? As you know, when they come into the straight itself and there's bunching, and jockeys have to decide whether they're going to take a chance on the inside or play safe and switch out.
It all depends, Graham, what type of gallop they've gone early, because if they go a good gallop, they're inclined to spread out when they get into the straight. If they get a forced run race, well, this is when they box up, and if you are on the fence, it's a job to get a run. But this horse, I think, has got quite a lot of foot. But I love the way he's going down, nice and settled and collected. Do you remember when we were looking at him in the paddock just now? He was getting a little bit on edge, and this is the first time he's ever seen an English racecourse. And, well, now Gerard Moss has done well to get him settled. He's down at the Old Mile. There's rather a good shot at the gates down at the Old Mile. And you can see the 1, 2, 3, the draw is always in England from the left, as in on the continent. You draw number 1 is the favoured position, and if it's a right-handed track, it's on that inside rail. If it's a left-handed track, it's on the inside rail once again.
And number 6.
Right, let's go.
Just on the left there, in that red colours with the white sash. There he is, Richard Hannon's Gold Academy. Supplemented for this race last week as a late entry. Ran well in the 2,000 guineas, but it was a muddling race this year, Jim, for the first Colts Classic. You know, not much pace on, a lot of horses finishing well. He might have been a bit flattered by that, but he certainly could do no more than win by 11 lengths against poor opposition.
Also, Graham, the ground was riding, as today, pretty fast, but at Newmarket, you've got a rather pronounced downhill there where it really matters. When the jockeys are really asking for that run, they've got to ask them on firm ground, downhill. Quite a lot of horses in the Guineas, Graham, didn't stretch.
No, the interesting thing about today's race is most of it's uphill. So those horses that don't really go on the firm, they will feel it less.
They've got a much better chance, actually, of stretching here at Ascot.
While these runners now just walking around quietly down at the start. Number 6 there, Gold Academy. Beginning to go behind the stalls for this Group 1 race. Worth 150,000 fall to the winner.
Let's have a look at Al Rasham, number 2. Well, we said Killer Instinct was a fine big horse. In fact, so's Al Rasham. Also bisophonic, as is Killer Instinct. So you've got 2 sons of Sophonic, and they're 2 of the biggest horses in the race. I think this fella's got a bit of running to do. He's shown good form, but I think he'd have to pull out all the stops to win today. Graham.
I know Michael Jarvis said he wasn't in the least surprised when he beat Killer Instinct at Newbury and working at home like a decent horse.
Very late update from Angus down in the ring.
Well, this is an extraordinary market, Graham. 90,000 to 40. 40,000 at 9 to 4 on this favourite. And remarkably, it's still 9 to 4. It may go 2 to 1. It has just gone 2 to 1. 2 to 1, Send a War. 130, Al Jabba. 8 to 1, Killer Instinct. The best of the rest, 9 bar.
And that's Mujahid just going in there. The blue colours on the far side. About half this field in.
The winner receives 121,000, and well, it's been promoted from a Group 2 to a Group 1, and well deserved it is as well. Killer Instinct goes in nice and quietly. Let's join Jim McGrath.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, Gold Academy going forward now. Al Jabba about to join them. Let's send a walk closest the camera on the near side. Last one going forward, Razor Grand. They're ready now for the St James's Palace Stakes.
Tell me when you're okay.
Stand and they're racing. Pretty good even break too. Senderward on the left of picture as they switch there from Razor Grand in the early stages. Debbie's Warning is up there early. So too is Orpin in the dark blue jacket on the right of picture. Al Jabba, the royal blue jacket from El Rassam, and Mujahid just in behind them. They're followed by Exit and Killer Instinct. Razor Grand shuffled back through the field as they sort themselves out. Al Jabba is being headed now by Debbie's Warning, and Gold Academy is right up there on the paces. They've gone 2 furlongs. El Rassam is trapped out pretty wide in the yellow jacket as they continue their journey up the side. Al Jabba, Debbie's Warning, and then on the near side it's Gold Academy from El Rassam passing the 5. Further back in the field then Exit, followed then by Sender War, who's positioned on the inside of the field now as they race up towards the half mile. Further back then is Mujahid out wider from Orpin, and who's been shuffled back from Razor Grand, then Killer Instinct, and a long gap then to Be the Chief. Coming towards the turn though, Al Jabba on the outside of Gold Academy. They match strides from El Rassam, then Sender War, who's just in behind them as they round the corner, and back in the field Killer Instinct in trouble as they round the corner there. And over on the far side it's Gold Academy, on the near side Al Jabba now called on for an effort. Sender War, he's got plenty of room and racing to the leaders quickly from El Rassam. Further back then Razor Grand and Exit. They come inside the final furlong and a half now. He says go on. Sender War ranges up, grabs the lead from Al Jabba. They're followed then by Gold Academy, El Rassam. It's Sender War on the near side, is a half now a length in front and careering away from Al Jabba. It's Sender War who goes on to win the St James's Palace Stakes. Second Al Jabba, third then Gold Academy, followed by Killer Instinct, a very good fourth after that scrimmage on the turn. They're followed by Razor Grand, El Rassam, further back Mujahid from Exit, then Orpin, Debbie's Warning, and last of all is Be the Chief. The winner is Sender War, and he could be very, very good indeed. He's won it here by about a length and a half from Al Jabba on the far side, and they have finished at least 5 lengths ahead of Gold Academy, who's justified his supplement by getting third, ahead of Killer Instinct, who was in trouble at the turn, big run, then Razor Grand, Al Rassam, followed by Mujahid, then Exit. A gap of 5 lengths or so to Orpin, who was disappointing, and Debbie's Warning behind Orpin as they cross the line. The winner is number 11, Sender War, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan. His first Group 1 victory in this country since the Elisa controversy of the early 90s, and a first win in Britain for Alain de Roy Dupré, the trainer. Gerald Mosse took the ride. Second was number 1, Al Jabba, owned by Godolphin, trained by Said bin Sarur, ridden by Frankie Dettori. And third, number 6, Gold Academy, owned by George Teo, trained by Richard Hannon.
Got a little bit close to the rail, kicked out, and we didn't do the rail much good, but he's settled down nicely now and on his way down to the start. Not the easiest of rides. You've got to produce him just right. If you produce him too soon, he says I've done enough, pulls up himself. And you've got to also coax him like Willie did many a time, as he says, through the race. You've got to really kid him that he's going as well as anything. Then once you do motivate him and get him going, well, he's got a good turn of foot, as Pat's proved many a time. Pat Edery, that is, on his back. You just see him cock his head a little bit to the left there, Graham. And I wonder whether Pat changed his hands. There he is, nearly down to the start, breaks into a trot, nearly down to the 2.5 mile start. And as Jim McGrath was saying, 17 runners, one of the biggest fields that's ever gone to the post for this Gold Cup.
Yes, a grand old character, Celeric. And galloping towards us here, we have Solomir, number 9, trained in France by John Hammond. He won the Prix de Gladiateur at Longchamp last year, and he's won at Baden-Baden in May. Goes on firm ground, yet to race beyond 2 miles, and ridden by Cash Asmussen.
Very much on his toes in the paddock. He looked very well, though. He wasn't sweating. His coat was shining. Let's go to number 7 now, Shea. There is Shea, the mount of Michael Fenton, trained by Giles Bravery. And, well, he's one that really, I think he'll stay very well. He's in the Sagaro Stakes here. He led briefly over a furlong out, but was beaten a length and a half by Celeric. And, well, that's not a bad run, but I've got an idea that Celeric might find a bit more than him today.
Yes, he's a big outsider, Shea, at 50 to 1, and there'd be a real shock if he won. And let's go look at one of the more fancied ones. And here is the one the bookmakers don't want to win, number 15, Darby. And I don't know, I think he'll get home, Jim, do you? Certainly got class to beat these, but it's a question of he's got the stamina.
Yep, I agree. He's got to get the 2.5 miles. He's won over 1.6 miles, an extended 1.6 miles when winning the Ledger. He's got the class. I think he's got more class than anything else in the field. Can he see the 2.5 miles out today?
And there is the Godolphin second string, Cave Tara, Gary Stevens aboard, winner last year, winner of the Irish St. Ledger, and as we saw earlier on that replay, he won in France from Toulon. Absolutely top-class stayer, and Gary Stevens must be thrilled to get the ride.
Yes, he's proven that he can get the 2.5 miles, and he's the one for me they've all got to beat. Number 16, Rainbow High. I was talking to Barry Hills this morning. He was a very impressive winner of the Tote Chester Cup. He won by 2 lengths from a Generosity, and Barry says, don't rule him out. I said to Barry, do you think he'll get the trip out? He said, I wouldn't have brought him here if I didn't think he was going to stay.
Improving rapidly, and just pipped in the final strive out to Cal at Sandown last time, but a very solid each-way chance. Number 16, Rainbow High. And just walking around there, shaking his head a bit. Number 12 in the red and white stripes, red and white hoops is Churlish Charm, trained by Richard Hannon. Improving, never been over the trip, nibbled at 16 to 1 earlier in the ring, and he did win the Yorkshire Cup. So here's one you could not rule out. Let's get up to date with the betting news from Angus down in the ring.
Well, it's very, very competitive here in the ring, and the fact is that Nadawi is being supported from all angles. The latest off his firm is Corals, who've come in to back it. The 4 to 1's all been taken. I can't see it returning any bigger than 7 to 2, which is its current price. Soleric, it got too big at 13 to 2. Now it's 6 to 1 and been very popular all day. Rainbow High is the easiest to back here on the racecourse, out to 13 to 2, with Cave Tara also a 7 to 1 chance. And the punters really have deserted that one in favour of this Nadawi. Churlish Charm, been some good support for that, some good each way bets recorded at 16 to 1. It's 12 to 1 at the moment, but the race for the bookmakers, particularly those off course, the betting shops all around the country, hinges on this Nadawi. Frankie Dettori looking for a treble. Has he chosen the right one?
Let's have a look at the biggest horse in the race. This is him, number 6, Persian Punch. Michael Cannan riding him, I think, for the first time today, but he is really a massive individual. Well, he's one of our best stayers. He always gets there with about 2 or 3 to run. But, Graham, I'm just wondering whether he really sees 2.5 miles out.
Yes, he's yet to prove that, and he's been expensive to follow in the Gold Cup, having been beaten in the last 2 years. He has been nibbled at today, 14 to 1 from 16 to 1. So there could be a surprise, but he certainly had his chances. Persian Punch, and just behind him is Tajun. 4 left to go in this fascinating race for the Gold Cup. Let's join Jim McGrath.
Thanks, Graham. Yes, now 3 to go, and as Persian Punch goes in, Mick Cannan riding that one for the first time. Tajun, Gerald Marseille stands behind the line. Had a wonderful week so far, Gerald, riding the Prix de Diane winner, Dariaba, on Sunday, and coming here on Tuesday to win the St James's Palace Stakes.
One to go.
Soleric, the 97 winner, is the last one to go forward, and now the 17 runners are set for the Gold Cup. They stand and they're racing. Athenry just slowly into stride, and on settling down on the outside, Solomio is the first one to go on here in company with Churlish Charm, and a little bit over on the far side is Tajun, who's up in a prominent position early. So too is Lauren Tide as they sort themselves out. Spirit of Love is showing plenty of early dash, and Mick Canaan has a Persian Punch right up on the pace on the inside and about fourth as they settle down. Further back in the field in the white cap is Kaif Tara. Further back on the inside in Zili. Nadawi, the favourite, settles down about 7th or 8th in the royal blue jacket the outside. They're followed by Athenry, who's starting to move up on the outside of 3 Cheers. Rainbow High is back in the field, then Invermark over on the far side. The back in the field is Sibling Rival in company with Soleric, who's got plenty of cover at this stage. And last of all is Catan. Second last at this point is Shea. Heading up past the 2-mile marker, and the leader on settling down is Solo Mio by a length and a half to Laurentide the far side. Then in the centre, the white face of Spirit of Love. Just behind them, Churlish Charm in the red and white jacket. Tajun is on his inside, followed then by Persian Punch. A length and a half further back, then the white cap of Kaif Tara, followed then by Nzili. Nadawi's in centre field, and the pace is very generous, followed then by Invermark. They're followed by 3 Cheers and Athenry. A length and a half then to Rainbow High, followed by Soleric, who's well back out of it with Sibling Rival Shea. And last of all is the French challenger Catan, as the 17 runners charge past the pack stands and head down the side. 1.5 miles left to go in the Gold Cup, and Solomia the leader by 2 lengths to Spirit of Love off the outside of Laurentide. A length and a half to Tajun, then Persian Punch tucked away on the inside of Churlish Charm. Further back in the field then is Kaif Tara with a white cap on the outside. Nzili is next, followed then by Nadawi as they continue their journey down the side of the course. Invermark is positioned on the inside of runners. 3 Cheers and Athenry are not that far behind him, followed then by Soleric, then Rainbow High, and out the back is Sibling Rival in company with Catan, and last of all is Shea as they head down the side towards the 1.25 miles. The leader is Solo Mio for France, leads by a length and a half to in second. Up on the outside, Spirit of Love, a half length then to Laurentide. Further back is Tajun. Churlish Charm is out deeper on the track, then Persian Punch, who's starting a forward move, followed by Kaif Tara, being tracked by his stablemate Nadawi in the royal blue jacket as they charge towards Swinley Bottom. Now they've got just under a mile to travel. Athenry with a red cap around the outside, then 3 Cheers from Invermark. Further back, Sibling Rival, Rainbow High, then Catan. Soleric is second last, and Shea is last of all. Thundering out of Swinley Bottom, and the leader is Solo Mio by half a length. Up on the outside, Spirit of Love. Laurentide is third in the blue cap, followed by Churlish Charm on the outside of Tajun, is now being niggled. Persian Punch is just behind them. Canaan about to call on him for an effort. Kaif Tara going forward for Gary Stevens in the white cap, then Athenry as they pass the 5. Nadawi is next from Nzili, and further back is 3 Cheers. Invermark on the inside. Soleric starting a forward move on the inner, but it's still Solo Mio as they pass the half mile in the Gold Cup from Spirit of Love. Then out wide at Churlish Charm. Laurentide flat to the boards. Kaif Tara, the white cap on the outside, being tracked by Nadawi, who's hard ridden on the outside there of Persian Punch. Nzili to the inside, and Soleric has grabbed hold of the bit and is running on well, but behind a wall of horses on the turn now, and Spirit of Love on the far side has kicked for home, has gone a length and a half in front of Nzili. Kaif Tara, last year's winner, coming there strongly for Gary Stevens. Behind them is Soleric. Further back is Invermark, who's running on well from Nadawi. A furlong left to go. Nzili strikes the front for Ireland. Goes 2 lengths in front now of Invermark. Battling on to there is Soleric in company with Kaif Tara, but it's Nzili 2 or 3 in front. Battling on is Invermark, but Nzili wins in the second set of colours of the Aga Khan. It's Nzili who beats Invermark in the Gold Cup. In third is Kaif Tara. Nadawi behind them was Soleric. Then 3 Cheers, Shea, Spirit of Love. Behind them is Catan, Rainbow High, Churlish Charm, Persian Punch, Solo Mio. Then Sibling Rival. Further back, Athenry from Laurentide. And Tajun, who's also owned by the Aga Khan, is absolute last. So first and last for the Aga Khan. Nzili is the winner, trained by John Ox, and he's won it in convincing style here. This son of the Aga's Derby winner, Kayazi, beats Invermark. In third place then in the white cap is Kaif Tara. Fourth, Soleric. Fifth is Nadawi. In sixth place is 3 Cheers. A long gap then of about 5 lengths or so to Shea. Then Spirit of Love, who led them around the turn. Catan for France is next. Then Rainbow High, the Chester Cup winner on the inside of Churlish Charm. Persian Punch for the 3rd year in a row has not run a race at all here at Ascot. He just hates the place. And then a long gap to the others. But the winner, number 13 in Zealy, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained by John Ox and ridden by Johnny Murtagh. Second, number 3, Invermark, owned by Sir David Wills, trained by James Fanshawe, ridden by Richard Hughes. Third, number 5, Cave Tara, last year's winner, owned by Godolphin, trained by Saibir Saru and ridden by Gary Stevens. Sir Lyric is 4th. But Enzili, the winner of the Gold Cup of 1999.
And we'll pick it up here because we're looking for the winner, and Frankie Dettori congratulating Johnny Murtagh afterwards. That was very game of him because Nadawi at this stage couldn't stay, but the winner has already gone. Celeric for a while was weaving through the pack, looked like he might go and really challenge, but he's run well in 4th, and Invermark stayed on from the back to take 2nd, but the winner had already flown.
Yes, Enzili, very, very good performance here. He has actually quickened at the furlong and a half and sprinted, where Invermark, who finished 2nd, was 2nd last into the straight, weaved his way through and got past Celeric, who also came right from off the pace.
And they set a really good pace, didn't they, Willie? Solo
Yes.
Mio set a strong pace and they kept it up.
I would imagine the race would be a very good time, but I was very surprised the way that this horse so much, he quickened so fast at the furlong and a half. He just took away from the field and then he's down again. And John Murtagh there, very, very happy, sort of. I don't think, has he ever rode Royal Ascot
Johnny
winner?
Murtagh, yes he has. He won the Coronation Stakes on Ridgewood Pearl. Do you remember that for
yes,
John
he
Ox
beat
as
me.
well?
I was 2nd.
Yeah, that was the last time they both had a success here. But he's a lovely guy, Johnny Murtagh, wonderful Irishman with a great sense of humour, and he'll be absolutely chuffed to bits with that. But a very strongly run race. That will have felt like a marathon for a lot of those horses. And I feel sure that Enzili, although not the best backed horse in the field, we said 6 or 7 of them had a chance, but I would think he was quite a big price, and he's won by 1.5 lengths in the engine.
Great performance here, great staying performance by Enzili, trained by John Ox, and the time was very fast. It was 4 minutes 18.84 seconds, and that's 4.7 seconds faster than standard, although it's just over 3 seconds outside the record. Distances 1.5 lengths and 2.5 lengths. And as Johnny Murtagh brings back the Gold Cup winner in Zealy, let's check the full SP.
The Gold Cup SPs then, and Zealy at 20-1. A great result for the bookmakers, obviously with the exception of the Irish, who will have backed it because of the price. Second, number 3, Invermark at 8-1. And the third, number 5, Cave Tara at 7-1. The favourite was Nadawi. Frankie Dettori finished 5th at 7-2. And Zealy, though, saved the bookmakers, the majority of them, from a massive payout with a 20-1 success.
So a shock winner here in the Gold Cup. That just about completes our coverage on BBC One, but we will be continuing very shortly on BBC Two. We've got the Cork and Orrery Stakes still coming up, and the latest instalment in our fashion competition. More ladies, more glamour, more racing. It's all here at Royal Ascot, and the sun's come out on Gold Cup Day for Enzili.
You need Hope Park as much as we need you. A teacher should be an inspiration.
I like to think we understand each other, kids and me.
Jail fodder! That's a Snipes!
I'm going to show them what's possible.
Outing already this season, over 6 furlongs at the Curragh, finished 4th behind Eastern Purple and 1-1-1, both in the field again today. But you'd think that on this ground and on this track that he enjoys, he certainly is the one to beat.
He's got a big chance today, and he's out of the mare Full Aspen, who is possibly one of the best bred mares in the thoroughbred calendar, as it were.
Well, that's what Willie and I think, and let's go to Jimmy and Rocky to see which horses they fancy in this big field.
Well, this is one, Claire, number 5, Arcadian Hero. I thought he looked exceptionally well in the paddock. He's a lovely, big, burly chestnut by Trempolino, and the mount of Gerald Mossey. He's a front runner. He's coming out of stall 20, so there's a fair bit of speed over that side, and, well, maybe, although we think the draw is very good to be low, there's a lot of speed coming from the other side, so if they split, You've also got Bold Fact at 21, and these are two pretty fast animals. But there is Bold Fact on his way out, and there also is Arcadian Hero. Let's go with him for a stride or two, so Graham can have a look at him too. But just look at the strength there, and Gerald Moss is just giving him a bit of rein, but he's a really powerful individual.
Like Bianconi, he wants top of the ground, and he's been trained for this race since last year. And just ahead of him there is number 7, Bold Fact. Here's another firm ground specialist. He beat Tipsy Creek 3/4 of a length at Lingfield last month. He's better off at the weights and represents the stable of Henry Cecil and the champion jockey Kieran Fallon.
Henry says that it can't be fast enough for this horse. He really loves the fast ground, as quite a lot of known facts do. Kieran Fallon on the way down. He'll be coming, as we said a little bit earlier, out of stall 21. But you wouldn't think he could go on the fast ground, would you, with that little scrappy action he's got on the way to the post? But when he turns round to come back, just watch him. He really strides.
And there's number 14, Russian Revival. We saw him beaten last year in the Diadem Stakes, but he's in cracking form this year. He was just caught close home by Dictat on a Sugar Cup Day at Goodwood, ran very well there, and then he went to France for the Prix du Palais Royal and won easily by 3 lengths from Tycoon's Dolce. So, although he's 6 years old now and he might not be quite as sprightly as he once was, he's in cracking form at the moment. Number 14, Russian Revival.
He's drawn 6. I think we'll see him coming up the stand side, but well, Frankie will be looking for a quick start on him. You can ride him more or less anyway, just off the pace, or you can let him use himself. That's number 14, Russian Revival.
Yeah, grand old character. Down at the start there in the dark blue colours, we've seen him already, number 2, Bianconi. One of the favourites. He'll improve for that first run of the season in Ireland. He just needed the run at the Curragh, and he looked in peak form today. 19 there in the just behind this one in front of you. You can see behind him in the blue and green colours, number 19, Vision of Night, trained by John Dunlop, ridden by Pat Eddery. His last race was at Newbury, and the favourite was Lion-Hearted. And Lion-Hearted in the Sheikh Mohammed colours led a 1/4 of a mile from home. Behind him, there you can see those green and blue colours, is Vision of Night. And although all the way it looks as though the favourite's going to win, suddenly Vision of Night takes hold of the bit, and in the last 100 yards absolutely flies home, and in the dying strides of the race just gets his head in front to pip the favourite right on the line.
That's good form too, Graham, as you say. I think Lionhearted's a pretty good sprinter, but they really battled all the way to the line on that occasion. I remember this horse winning twice as a 2-year-old. He also ran a good 3rd in the Middle Park Stakes, and that was good form. If he comes back to his best form, he's drawn 11. Which side do you think Pat's going to opt to go?
Well, I'm not sure they're actually going to split into 2 groups. Some of those high ones might decide to go on the far side. But Vision of Night, disappointing in the free handicap, came right back to form as we saw last time. Number 19, Vision of Night.
Let's have a look at Bold Edge. He's one of my favourites. He's written by Dane O'Neill, and a real character, this. He was really performing before they put the saddle on. And, well, he's settled down nicely now on his way down. He very seldom runs a bad race, this. He won the Abernant Stakes at Newmarket in the spring. That was on his reappearance, and he proved himself a pretty good horse.
Yeah, he was last in the Duke of York Stakes last time, and that was something wrong with him that day. He can't have been right. Better judged on his Newmarket run. And number 3 there, Tipsy Creek, won the Temple Stakes at Sandown. From the front, Jimmy, if you remember, he got out clear and then kicked, Richard Hills kicked him on, and he held on by 3/4 of a length and a quarter, sorry, from Lockinge.
He looks well too. He done well. Ben Hambury has to get this horse back, Graham, because he was reportedly broke a bone in his hock, and he's really nursed him back to full health. And looking at him in the paddock, he really looked a picture.
They tried to sell him, but they couldn't, and he's here today, 3 Tipsy Creek. Let's see how he's doing in the betting with Angus.
Well, this Bianconi's drifted here on the racecourse. Amazing, supported in the betting shots, but hasn't been supported here on the racecourse to the extent that it's now 11-2, although 5-1 is the general price. That 11-2 seems a very fair price at the moment. This Bold Fact, 6-1, Russian Revival, 6-1, Arcadian Hero is 7-1, and it's 10-1 upwards bar those. And Bianconi easy to back at the moment because the support for Bold Fat, and at this stage it's 11-2 each of 2, so it's 11-2 each of 2. Bianconi and Bold Fat, they're vying for favouritism, and that Andreev, I mentioned it before, the best bagged outsider, currently 12s.
Over on the far side there in the yellow and black, Andreev, number 4. Angus said there'd been money for this one this morning, 25s into 14s, but his very, very best form is with some cut in the ground, though he does act on firm. Darrell Holland rides for Richard Hannon.
Yeah, he might find it a bit firm today. As you say, his best form has been shown with some cut in the ground. Darrell in the saddle, trained by Richard Hannon as Bold Edge. Latest 14-1 from 16s, just tightened up 2 points.
Usually held up for a late run. Don't expect to see this one too early in the race. And, as we say, coming out of stall 12. Number 8, Daylight in Dubai. Well, this horse has had a few trainers. He was with Peter Chapelheim as a 2-year-old, then Jeremy Nazida in America as a 3-year-old, Chris Cricket Head in France last year, and now he's in Yorkshire with David Nichols. And although he's coming out of stall 1 and he's got some form, overall he's a big outsider here.
He could find it much too sharp for him. Most of his best form, Graham, has been over a mile and 7 furlongs. Well, he'll have to show a bit more speed than he has been as late. That's number 8, Daylight in Dubai.
And number 9, Eastern Purple there in the background, the purple. He's certainly, on that latest run in the Weatherby's Island Greenlaw Stakes at the Curragh, would have a chance today. He battled on really well to beat Gaelic Storm by a short hair. Bianconi is in 4th, but you would think that Bianconi today, fitter and back on his ground, would turn the tables.
Sometimes runs in blinkers, but, well, he's been left off today. Let's go to Angus for some more betting.
Well, certainly the one that hasn't moved at all, very solid in the market, is this Arcadian Hero. And that's being taken to 7-1 at the moment. It's 6-1 the field. It's really very open at the moment. I'm not sure who's going to start favourite. Bolfat, Bianconi, Russian Revival, all 6-1. With Arcadian Hero, they're backing that at 7s at the moment. This Andreev, as I mentioned, is 12-1. It's 14-1, bar the 6 quoted there. But anything's possible in the next few minutes. If you back the favourite, I couldn't help you as to who you're going to be on at this stage. 6-1 each of 3, with Arcadian Hero being supported at 7s.
Yeah, they're loading quickly now. Number 10 on the far side there. Easy Dollar, very big price.
Got all the aids on today, Graham. As you can see there, he's got a visor on. He's also got his tongue tied down. So he's got the lot. He's 100-1 in the market. Richard Hughes in the saddle. Well, 100-1 shot, be one of the last to go in the boxes. Let's join Jim.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, a few to go in. Still, we see Easy Dollar on in the foreground there, as you say, fitted with every bit of equipment you can imagine. Going forward, Russian Revival. He's been a good campaigner. Atlantic Destiny, minus her sheep. Andreev going forward. Bold Edge to go in for Richard Hannon and Dane O'Neill. Already had a winner earlier this week. Monkston Point. Jason Weaver just standing some way behind them. Now with 19 runners and the stalls on the stand side, as Graham was saying, there might be a couple tempted on the far side to break away and go to that far side. There's not that much space between stall 21 and that far rail, as you can see there. Not that far to go.
Right, 1 to go.
1 to go. Monkston Point, a 66-1 outsider, and still 3 horses vying for favouritism: Bianconi, Bold Fact and Russian Revival. Going forward now, Monkston Point, running very late here.
Last one coming in.
Some 10 minutes late. That's it. They're ready. Under orders and they're racing. Good even line to Daylight and
Many of these out because of the quality of the field, you have to say that.
A lot of scope, Graham, is back with these fillies. Look, they all had their winter coats. We had a very bad spring, in fact. You wouldn't know that they were the same fillies. Now, they're all looking well. Well, we've had a good look at all 9 runners, but let's take this chance to join Jim McGrath for the Coronation Stakes, a Group 1 race.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, Oriah is going to be the last to be positioned. They're ready now for the Coronation. Set and racing. Jumped in a good line. Horiah in the centre was one of the first to show out from Balisada, and just in behind them Valentine Waltz. Crossing over in the early stages Pescara, and further back Hula Angel. Golden Silker trapped a little wide. Valentine Waltz about sixth on the rails from Wannabe Grand. Balisada at last of all as they sort themselves out as Choir Girl. The leader though is Horiah by a length. They're not going a great gallop at all. It'll be a sprint home. Second was Pescara. Then on the inside Golden Silker in third as they continue their journey over the far side. Presumed in fourth, followed by Hula Angel, then Valentine Waltz, the green colours from Wannabe Grand. Further back is Balisada, and last of all Choir Girl as they continue the climb up towards home now and head towards the half-mile point. And the leader is Horiah by a length to Pescara, the outside in the blue jacket. Just in behind them Golden Silker third, followed by Out Wider Presumed, and further back is Hula Angel, then Valentine Waltz, Wannabe Grand with about 5 or 6 lengths to make up, and they still haven't sprinted. Further back in the field Balisada, and on the outside Choir Girl is last. Now they open up as they turn for home. 2.5 furlongs left to travel. Horiah leads this dash for the line. On the outside though Presumed race to them very quickly. Pescara there in the centre. Golden Silker looking for a way through. Wannabe Grand and Hula Angel to the outside from Valentine Waltz. 1.5 furlongs to go. Presumed in the centre, being tackled by Pescara the far side. Then Wannabe Grand, and right down the outside Balisada, battling on well Golden Silker. It's Pescara, Golden Silker, out wider then it's Balisada and Valentine Waltz, but Balisada is swamping them, and Balisada wins the Coronation Stakes. In second place tight, Golden Silker, Valentine Waltz and Wannabe Grand in a photo. Pescara behind them from Choir Girl. Further back Presumed from Hula Angel, and Horiah is last to finish. Well, absolutely swamping them out wider. Balisada, let's have a look at them cross the line. It's a blanket finish for second though. Balisada wins. Blanket second there. Golden Silker in a photo there on the far side with Wannabe Grand on the near side, and just on the other side of Golden Silker in the green cap is Valentine Waltz. Just behind them is Pescara in the blue jacket the far side, then Choir Girl. Further back then is Presumed in the orange jacket, and then a gap of 3 lengths or so to the Irish Guineas winner Hula Angel, and Horiah, who set the early pace, is last to finish. But what a win. Balisada, and it's not the first time that Jeff Ragg has produced a filly to surprise here in this race. Owned by E.E. Oppenheimer, trained by Jeff Ragg, ridden by Michael Roberts. Balisada, the winner of the Coronation Stakes. Second, it's a photo, and it rests between number 3, Golden Silker, owned by Aldridge Racing Limited, trained by Mick Channon and ridden by Kieran Fallon. Also 9, Wannabe Grand, owned by B. McAllister, trained by Jeremy Nacida and ridden by Pat Eddery. And also in the photo number 8, Valentine Waltz, owned by the Kirby Mars Syndicate, trained by John Gosden and ridden by Ray Cochran. 16-1 the winner, continuing the succession of upsets we've had here at Royal Ascot today.
Well, as Jim mentioned, Jeff Ragg did this a couple of years ago with Rebecca Sharp, who was a 25-1 shot, and he's done it here with Balisada. We thought the group that had finished second, third and fourth were very closely matched, but to be honest, I don't think any of us took this filly into account, really.
No, well, the money came for this filly. There was a bit of a gamble, as Angus has said, and this filly came from second last. What a turn of foot. And all the fillies we said have been winning and been second in the games, there they are. There's only a head between the whole 4 of them. And this filly absolutely just picked up. It came, Mace Roberts brought it to the outside, got a nice clean run, had more turn of foot than the others, and it was a bit of a cat and mouse race actually. They didn't go a great gallop, and when they came into the straight there was a lot of jockeys sitting there thinking they were going to win. Ray Cochran was looking for room, and so was Kieran Fallon.
And Michael Roberts actually kept well out of trouble, didn't he? He went wider than any of them.
Well, he pulled out at the furlong and a half and got to the outside because he could see that there wasn't going to be a lot of room because everybody was jinking around looking for daylight. But there was no doubt about it. The best horse won the races today.
It's the first Royal
Natty in the saddle, trained by Noel Mead in Ireland. I was with Noel just when they were saddling him up. He thought quite a lot of this Sunshine Street. He's expecting a big run for him today. He ran a good race, in fact, in America at Churchill Downs in the Breeders' Cup when he finished 5th behind Bucks Boy. He's a very versatile type of horse, this guy.
Cracking 4th in the Derby last year, and he loves firm ground, so definitely one to consider there. Walking forward, number 9. A wide open race, of course, if you don't fancy the favourite, and he was 6-5 last time. Let's catch up with Angus.
Royal Anthem is still being supported by the punters. 11 to 10 from 5 to 4, 5 to 1 Sea Wave, 9 to 1 each of two Sunshine Street and Stadium, 10 to 1 Secret Saver, 12 to 1 Bar. But this Royal Anthem, whenever they go 5 to 4, that's the price the punters will back it at. 11 to 10 is the current show.
Number 8 there, Gary Stevens, that's Secret Saver. He was second to Sadian in the Ormond Stakes at Chester and £3 worse off, but there's been a fair bit of money for this horse today. He must have improved since then.
He looked well in the paddock too, and I think that the Ormond's a great race as a guider on these. Only one left to go. Let's join Jim McGrath in the stands.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, that one is Silver Rhapsody, McCannan, riding for Henry Cecil. Now, we were talking before about Sea Wave, who will start from stall number 8, which is on the inside. So any suspicions that we might have that he could duck out again? Looks like they're going to take Silver Rhapsody away. That's it. They go now without Silver Rhapsody, a non-runner. And Sea Wave has begun with the rest of the field on settling down, and it's Sunshine Street and Posidonus who are vying for the early lead. Sadian on the outside is also showing plenty of early dash and goes up there with Sunshine Street, Posidonus. Then Secret Saver the inside. Royal Anthem is trapped out wide. The pace is only fair early, and further back in the field then is Rabar as they sort themselves out. But Sunshine Street for Ireland goes on here on the inside of Sadian and Secret Saver just in behind them. Trapped out very wide is Royal Anthem. Posidonus is right there in the centre from Fruits of Love. Rabar and Sea Wave at the tail of the field. About 6 or 7 lengths covers them as they head now towards the mile. It's Secret Saver on the inside there, but Sunshine Street is the leader. From on the outside, Sadian out deep on the track. Then Royal Anthem. I think they want them to go faster than this. Then Secret Saver pulling a little on the inside there of Posidonus, Sea Wave. Rabar trapped wide and Fruits of Love has shuffled back through the field to last. Racing out of Swinley Bottom now up the side towards the 6. Sunshine Street with the red cap from Sadian. The green cap then of Royal Anthem, the favourite, trapped out wide. But it's Sunshine Street in camera now from Sadian. Out wider than Royal Anthem. Secret Saver, the spotted cap, just behind them from Posidonus. They're followed then by Sea Wave in the royal blue colours of Godolphin as they head past the 5 and 2 lengths away Fruits of Love with Rabar. As they run up the side of the course now towards the half mile. On the inside, Sunshine Street from Sadian, who's being pushed along. Royal Anthem is going to them quickly on the outside. Secret Saver in behind them. Then Sea Wave from Posidonus shuffled back. Fruits of Love is last on the inside. Next to last is Rabar. They turn the corner now, and it's Sunshine Street a half length in front and running a great race here from Royal Anthem. A length and a half further back then. Starting to run on is Sea Wave, coming with a good run, followed then by Secret Saver. Fruits of Love from the rear. Royal Anthem ranges up on the 2, grabs the lead from Sunshine Street and Sea Wave. Fruits of Love is running on as a big danger from Secret Saver. They've got just over a furlong to travel. Royal Anthem in front, but he's gone for the whip and grabbed now by Fruits of Love, who's storming home. Fruits of Love for Olivier Pellier takes it up a half furlong out, sprints 2 lengths in front of Royal Anthem, who has no answers, and it's Fruits of Love coming away for a great win in the Hardwick. Wins by 3 lengths to Royal Anthem. Third then Sea Wave. Sunshine Street a courageous fourth from Secret Saver. A long gap Posidonus followed by Sadian second last, and last to finish is Rabar. The winner is number 2, Fruits of Love, ridden by Olivier Pellier, has come from second last on the turners, won by 3 or 4 lengths. Royal Anthem second. In third then was Sea Wave on the outside. Fourth, Sunshine Street, who made most of the running. In fifth is Secret Saver. Then a gap to Posidonus in 6th. Sadian has finished a long way behind in 7th, and Rabar just behind them. But the winner, number 2, Fruits of Love, owned by Mick Doyle, trained by Mark Johnston and ridden by Olivier Pellier. The winner of the Hardwick Stakes. Second, number 1, Royal Anthem, owned by the Thoroughbred Corporation, trained by Henry Cecil, ridden by Kieran Fallon. And third, number 4, Sea Wave, owned by Godolphin, trained by Said Bin Sarur and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Fourth, Sunshine Street, and fifth, Secret Saver. But the winner, Fruits of Love, with a powerful turn of foot on the outside, has sprinted home the winner of the Hardwick Stakes.
Well, Kieran Fallon had been on board Fruits of Love when he came from last to first to win in Dubai. He's nearly last at this stage on the rail with Olivier Pellier, and Kieran Fallon this time on Royal Anthem in second place. Sunshine Street had set a very steady early pace that hadn't suited a lot of these, and Royal Anthem Willie pulled too hard early on. It just is so disappointing when Kieran pushes go here. He hasn't found enough as much as one would expect him to.
No, he hasn't gone away from his field. There now, this is when he should have gone and got his race won. But here Kieran's put him under strong pressure, and he's just gone the same pace. He hasn't quickened up, where the winner has really come from nearly last position, round the turn on the inside, got a good split, and Olivier Pellier comes there and wins just like this horse did in Dubai. A very good performance. I don't think Royal Anthem is quite ran what his race that he did do last year, because the other horses are a little bit too close to him.
But not only has Fruits of Love put up a great performance, but it's wonderful to see him here running so well, because after he won in Dubai, he had a horrible incident in the horse box coming back home to Mark Johnston's yard in Middleham, and had to have an awful lot of veterinary attention, so they've done well to get him back on a racecourse, and he's the winner of the Hardwick Stakes.
What a triumph for Mark Johnston, the Middleham trainer. 12-1 winner of this Hardwick Fruits of Love, a horse that he's always believed in. And I think he's going to go much higher than this. That was an electric turn of foot that he showed in the straight. He's given Royal Anthem at least 4 lengths straight into start into the straight. So he's and he didn't appear before the turn to be going all that well when they first started to sprint for home. And it was interesting that at Epsom previously in the Coronation Cup, he was a long way behind Royal Anthem, who was second in that race. They were complaining of lack of pace, both sets of connections after that race, Royal Anthem's connections and those of Fruits of Love. So today, even though we didn't think there was a great deal of pace on early, certainly they wanted to go a bit faster. They have run a very fast time in the end, 2:28.7, which is 1 second faster than standard, and the distances 3 lengths and a length and a half. A good winner, Fruits of Love. Let's see what price they were, the 1, 2, 3.
So the Hardwick result then. First number 2, Fruits of Love at 12-1. Second number 1, Royal Anthem, the heavily backed 6-5 favourite, and third number 4, Sea Wave at 5-1. Now there may be a rule 4 in that, 5 pence to all bets. I can confirm it, 5 pence to all bets. If you back that one, you've got a 5 pence deduction. Fruits of Love, the 12-1 winner.
That deduction because Silver Rhapsody wouldn't go into the stalls at the beginning, so only 8 in the end running in that. Now Mark Johnston has won the first 2 races at Ayr and Redcar, so Fruits of Love completing a 545-1 treble for him. He's with Jonathan.
Yes, Mark resplendent in a tartan waistcoat, and winners all over the country today.
Yeah, that's the third today from 4 runners, so long may it continue. Fantastic.
But this horse is an extraordinary story because he won so well in Dubai, and when he came back, he had an accident on the motorway coming home. He got very wide, went berserk more or less in the horse box, and you thought you'd lost him.
Got to say a huge thanks to the team at the Royal Veterinary College and the Potters Bar Fire Brigade that got him out of what looked like an impossible position here. When I heard where he was upside down in the groom's compartment in the horse box, and I just couldn't imagine how they were going to get him out of there. He was taken to the Royal Veterinary College. A very brave vet climbed on top of him and sat between his front legs when he was upside down, gave him a general anaesthetic, and the fire brigade cut him out, and he came out of that with hardly a scratch on him.
Do you know why he became so upset?
No idea whatsoever. You know, he's travelled all around the world. He went to Dubai without a hitch. He'd been to Hong Kong before that. He's been to France. He's a well-travelled horse and a very, very laid-back, quiet horse at most times, so no idea at all.
Well, clearly the ordeal has had no lasting effect, but at the time you must have imagined that was the end of his racing career.
Yes, I kept thinking, I was on the mobile phone listening to it all going on in the background, and the race in Dubai was clearly a Group 1 standard race, but didn't carry any group status, and I kept thinking, you know, if he lives, has he done enough to go to stud? Based on that, probably not, and that was all that was running through my head, that I knew he was.
Market 3 years ago, hasn't won since in fact, but he ran very promisingly at Newmarket in his first run of the season. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him right up in the firing line there today. Walking forward nicely. Ridden by Tim Sprigg.
wonderful characters, these old horses. They really know their way about. There's quite a lot of them have run many times. And you can see them standing in the stalls now, just waiting for those stalls to flick back. I used to ride a sprinter, actually, that was one of the quickest ever, and he used to put his nose on the front of the gate, you can see there, and he'd feel the gate move before the rest, and he'd get a flyer. And this is very important over this 5 and 6 furlongs. All betting?
Further outlook, 10-1 favourite. Al Mullalim, 11-1. Caddo Share, also 11-1. 12-1 Bar 3. David Nichols, the trainer, in form.
That's it. They're all installed for the Wokium. Stand by.
Lines
ready.
up.
That's it, and they're racing. Literary Society has tossed his rider at the start. He came out awkwardly and he's got rid of the rider on settling down, and one of the first away, Helmer Hera, and also Bold Effort is up there as well. Sellers Park Flyer has got a flyer in the centre and is blazing the trail up there. Over on the far side, it's further outlook. Periston Viewer up there with Brave Edge and Lone Piper just behind them. On the near side, Indian Spark with Return of Amin, also Bold Effort, and further back in the field is Rush Cutter Bay. 3 groups here on the far side, Periston View, and also there as farther outlook, it's Selhurst Park Flyer going for his life up the centre. On the near side, it's Indian Spark from Bold Effort. Return of Amin, Rush Cutter Bay. Lone Piper is just behind them. The 3 groups, though, are led by Selhurst Park Flyer up the centre. From Young Josh, who's battling on. Further back, Dr. Spin, who's battling on as well. On the near side there, it's Mutar Kid in company with Indian Spark, Bold Effort, and Helmer Hera coming through as well. On the far side, further outlook at Marsad. 3 groups now on the near side. Helmer Hera forging into the lead from deep space out of the centre. Dr. Spin, the far side there. It's as they head towards the line. It's Helmer Hera grabbed by deep space. They hit the line. Photo between Helmer Hera and deep space. Just behind them, Young Josh. Dr. Spin in 4th. In 5th position then is Tussle as they go past the line. The riderless horse is galloping past the line last of all, but as they hit the line, Helmer Hera the near side and deep space. It's almost a dead heat. There's not much in it at all. Then that's a photo, a real photo. We'll leave that one to the judge. 3rd then is Young Josh. 4th is Dr. Spin. 5th then Tussle on the far side. Caddo Share looks like in just behind them from Cretan Gift. Al Mualim is next, then Gaelic Storm, then Mutar Kid. Far side, then further outlook from Emerging Market. Near side is Indian Spark, then Faraway Lass. Further back, a line, I should say always a light. Just behind them on the near side is Smooth Sailing, then Red Lion, levelled out in the centre, then Faraway Lass, Rush Cutter Bay, Marsad. Sellers Park Flyers finished in the middle of the pack from First Mate, then Bold Effort, then Lone Piper, then Brave Edge, followed by Periston View, the near side, Granny's Pet there with Return of Amin, and there is the riderless horse, number 18, Literary Society, who got rid of Seb Saunders when just coming out very awkwardly. It's a photo between number 3, Helmer Hera, owned by Robert Hitchens, trained by Ian Balding and ridden by Olivier Pallier, and the other one in the photo is number 27, Deep Space, owned by Maktoum Maktoum, trained by Ed Dunlop and ridden by Gary Carter. 3rd is number 29, Young Josh, owned by Faizad Thoroughbred Limited, trained by Alex Stewart and ridden by Michael Roberts. And 4th is number 23, Dr. Spin, owned by Anthony Paigiri, trained by Fu Johnson Horton and ridden by Cash Asmussen. But that's tight as well. We have a shot of Helmer Hera, who's in this photo. It's the tightest of photos. I wouldn't like to nominate which one has got there.
I agree with you, Jim. I'm not sure we can tell, but we just see the start here. Literary Society coming out of the stalls in the middle, stall 17, and I'm afraid he just stumbled as he came out of the stalls and has deposited his jockey, Seb Sanders, on the floor. Coming out of stall 8, sorry, Literary Society. Selhurst Park Flyer, the winner for the last 2 years, blazing a trail up the middle. He faded halfway. We thought that the really fast runners were over on the far side. In fact, it turned out that they were here on this stand side. You can see Helmer Hera with the sheepskin noseband, always well placed with Olivier Pellier, and deep space for Ed Dunlop as well, coming from slightly further back in the field. In fact, he's right at the back of that pack, again on the rail though, and they get a great run through, but I'm just not sure which one's won it. Helmer Hera has been second 3 times so far this season. Could he be second again, or could he just have got up, Willie?
Well, on my first impression is that your father's horse has won the race, but on the still, it looked a little bit dubious. But Indian Spark coming out of stall 5 set up the race here for Helmer Hera, who was sitting right up behind him. And Indian Sparks are quite a good horse and gave him such a very good lead up to the two fellows, where he went on there. And then you see Deep Space going to head in head.
Deep Space has gone ahead at this stage. Halmahera coming back at him. It's all on the nod, on the line. Who's got that?
Yes, you look as though you've... As is on speed, it looks like Halmahera has won the race from Deep Space. Gary Carter done nothing wrong, and they went head in head all the way to the
neither
line.
Gary Carter nor Olivier Pellier will commit themselves. I think they're betting on the photo finish. Angus, are they betting down there? What do they think?
Well, thanks very much, Claire. They are betting, and they're asking for odds on Deep Space, but the rumours and the feeling here is that Halmahera's won, but I think it suits people's books. John Pagley on the rails is taking 5 to 1. He's asking for 5 to 1 on about Deep Space, but I honestly believe he's wrong, and like so many punters, I haven't seen him strike any bets at that price. The feeling is that Halmahera's got up and won by the shortest of short heads. It's very, very close here. We'll obviously get a price for a dead heat as soon as we have one. The bookmakers, if they see that print, will probably quote that because it's desperately close. No real action here. The bookmakers are as confused as you are at home, and we are here on the racecourse as to who's won this one. It's very, very close.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. Olivier Pellier is deliberately taking a very long time to get back to the winner's enclosure. The Deep Space Ed Dunlop's horse, Gary Carter, is already here, and he's wandering around outside the second place. I'm not sure. I think Pellier might think he's got up, and first reactions are always the ones that you should take. Willie thought Halmahera had won, so did I, but Jim, you were commentating. What was your first reaction as you saw them go past the post, Jim?
My first reaction was Halmahera, Claire, I must say, but having looked at the replay again and seen Deep Space there, when you're looking at that, it's not actually dead on the line. It's a fraction out, and you seem to favour the near side horse, which in this case is Halmahera, but it is desperately close, and as Angus indicating, those in the ring as confused as those watching on videos and on television sets around the course, and also in the flesh. It's a very, very tight one indeed, but what a sensational race. With Literary Society, there is a steward's inquiry, but that is into that incident at the start when Seb Saunders was dumped so unceremoniously from Literary Society. But Angus, you're down in the ring. What's the action there?
Well, the results just coming here. Print's been called to determine the result here, and that can certainly change the outcome here. The 2 to 1 I've been heard, a dead heat's been called, and I think that might be quite a generous price. Halmahera is even money, and Deep Space is just odds on. The bookmakers really don't know who's won this, and that's been confounded by the fact they've called for a print. It's very, very close indeed. This could easily end up as a dead heat in the Wokingham.
They do it.
Well, the judge has made an announcement saying that he is looking at the photo, examining it in detail. In fact, he's called for a print, as Angus was saying, and he's announced that he will announce that result as soon as possible. The third, though, is official now. That's number 29, Young Josh, ridden by Michael Roberts, and fourth is number 23, Dr. Spin, ridden by Cash Asmussen. Fifth is number 8, Tussle, Michael Bell's horse. He tipped this morning. Gave us some good advice there, but just missing a place with Tussle finishing in 5th place. Well, Jonathan, what's happening down there? How are connections feeling at this pretty anxious moment?
Well, with me, the two trainers, we're being shuffled off to the side of the stage here, but with me, Ed Dunlop and Ian Balding. Ed, first of all, your horse, Deep Space, what do you think?
No idea. I'll settle for a dead heat, but he's run a great race, win, lose or draw.
And what did your jockey, Gary Carter, think?
He had no idea.
Ian, are you any the wiser?
No, same feeling. We'd be very happy for a dead heat, I think. If it's that close, it should be a dead heat, really.
I mean, Olivier Pellier seemed to be very slow to come back. It took an age. He didn't want to have to make the decision to go into the first or second spot.
No, that's right. I mean, he has no idea, though. He said it was absolutely on the nod, but...
Cupcake, one of the best of the Irish runners. Look at him come from behind. There you can see, settled nicely as the ones in front of him cut out the running. Michael Killen just sitting easily, and then a gap appears in front of him, and he quickens through it to win in tremendous style. This race was over 6 furlongs, and you have to say that he's got some toe, and it might be interesting to see how he fares. Dropped back to the minimum trip today. It's a very, very stiff 5, as Jimmy said here today. Goodwood's an easy 6, and he could do no more than quicken away and win really, really impressively. There we are, number 9, Lavery, live challenger from Ireland.
Let's have a look at number 16 if we can. A little bit later on. There is 16, Deadly Nightshade. There's 4 3-year-old fillies in the race, and I think this one might come out the best. A very useful 2-year-old was second to Show Me the Money in the Cornwallis Stakes at Ascot, only beaten a length and a half. And I've heard that she's really trained on. David Ellsworth thinks a lot of her, and if anybody's going to chase the older animals up here, well, this 3-year-old could be the one to do it.
Yeah. Number 1, walking around quietly there is Almaty. This horse has got plenty of toe. He certainly, on his very best form, he would be round about here, but he's taking on some of the best, the fastest horses in Europe, and hasn't won since last year, but should be spot on now.
There is a sheer Viking, number 13, a really down-to-earth sprinter. There's 6 furlongs, I think maybe his best trip. He's got 5 to run today, but he's got quite a lot of speed. He's trained by Barry Hills at Lamble, ridden by Michael Hills. He ran a very good race, went second behind Lavery in a valuable event at Goodwood. That was on his first run of the season, his only run of the season, in fact, and he showed a lot of speed that day.
He did. We've just seen that race. He was, I'm afraid, no match for Stravinsky. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean Stravinsky, no match for Lavery. Be interesting to see how he gets on here. Now then, one of the best sprints so far. Let's join Angus for an update on betting.
Well, it's incredible, this market, because now Lockinge, Lugine and Saint Marine are 9-2 co-favourites of 3. The bookmakers have obviously had a fairly good day and are wanting to lay everything. The punters are coming in for only 1 or 2. And they're the outsiders. Deadly Nightshade's been well backed at 10-1. Rambling Bear's been well backed at 16-1, down to 12-1. And I reported the money earlier for Mitcham and Ted Burrow. They're amongst those in the bar price, but it's a fascinating heat. It's 9-2 each of 3. Lockinge, Lugine and Saint Marine, and they've gone for the outsiders. The public are backing horses to beat the front 3.
And number 12 just going behind the stalls is Mitcham. This is an interesting one, a 3-year-old. He's won 1 race this season at Newmarket, but he ran very, very well at Epsom, went 5th to the roof. That was a flying 5 furlongs, and he was staying on nicely at the end. Good effort for a young horse, and he's been nibbled at a very big price today. That's number 12, Mitcham.
Let's find Cortashi Castle for you, number 2. That'll be the mount of Pat Edery. Pat looking for his first winner of the Royal Meeting here this year. And although he's by far the leading rider here at Royal Ascot over the years, he has yet to ride a winner. But Cortashi Castle, well, ran a good race in one of our good early sprints, the Temple Stakes at Sandown, when finishing 3rd. That was behind 6 lengths off the winner, Tipsy Creek. And that's usually quite a good guide. But, well, I wouldn't think Brian Meehan would bring him here if he didn't think he's cherry ripe today.
There's number 3, Lockinge. Big sheepskin noseband. 3 co-favourites the last time we heard from Angus. Let's get the very latest down in the ring.
Well, now we've got a clear favourite, and it's the French horse. Saint Marine gone 4-1 favourite. Lockinge 9-2. Lugine, they can't give that one away. It's 5-1 from 7-2. 7-1 bar 3. But it's Saint Marine now, the French horse, who's going to go off the market leader, unless there's a very, very late change.
There's the new favourite in stall 2. Well, she'll burn it up from there. Well, if you blink, you could miss this race. Let's join Jim McGrath.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, that last couple going forward, Rambling Bear, who's usually one of the last to be loaded, is standing back behind them. The others are just about set. You see the attendants scrambling clear. One of them, Lavery, has got very, very upset. Mick Cannan very quickly out of the stalls there. I'm not sure whether it's Mick's horse, actually. Lavery has come out. There's one a little bit wider out who's appears to be very restless as well. Have a look at the saddle. Looks like he tried to get under.
What do you want to do?
a decision to be made here. Look at that.
What are you going to do?
McKinnon has already had one horse withdrawn this afternoon.
Right, we're drawn up.
Silver Rhapsody out of the Hardwick.
2 to go.
Looks like this one's going to go as well. So, a disappointment for him and for his followers. Looks like Lavery won't be lining up. Rambling Bear's going to be the last to be loaded.
Last one coming in.
That's it. They go without Lavery. Stand by in the King's Stand. Ready and racing. Sam Marine just missed it half a beat there, and in the centre, one of the first away, Tadeo, and going very fast too in the early stages on the far side, Lockinge. Lady Alexander is up there as well on the near side, St. Marine with Flanders and Tadeo. Further back in the field then is Repertory at this stage, right out in the centre. Lou Jane begin okay on the far side with Almaty. Deadly Nightshade behind them in the centre as they sort themselves out. St. Marine, though, on the near side, the French filly is leading Flanders, and then out wider, Lockinge is crossed right over from a wide stall. Just in behind them is Lady Alexander from Mitcham. Tadeo, Lou Jane behind them, called on for an effort now. A furlong and a half left to go. It's Flanders, St. Marine and Lockinge joining in. Mitcham is just behind them from Lou Jane, Lady Alexander, Tadeo and Rambling Bear. Flanders on the near side, a nose in front of Sam Marine, and also Mitcham starting to finish fast on the near side. Flanders in front, Mitcham lunging late. They race towards the line. Photo! Mitcham and Flanders just behind them as St. Marine, Lockinge, Rambling Bear. It's another very tight photo in this sprint. It's the King's Stand this time, and it's rest between Mitcham on the near side and Flanders on the far side. They race towards the line here, absolutely locked together. They hand towards the line. Oh, it's tight again, but it looks like Mitcham fractionally on the near side from Flanders. St. Marine in third, then in fourth is Lockinge. Fifth behind them, Rambling Bear, then Tadeo. Further back, Kotaki Castle. Then Lady Alexander from Sheer Viking. Then Inya Lake. Further back is Deadly Nightshade. They're followed then by Lou Jane, who was a disappointment. They're followed then by Blue Melody, then Trinity, Repertory, Almaty, and Ted Burrow behind them. Money for him today, but no factor at all. It's a photo between number 12, Mitcham, ridden by Richard Quinn, and number 17, Flanders. The judge has called it. Number 12, Mitcham, is the winner. The judge has given it.
Really didn't get into the race at all. It's a very quick 5 at Epsom. Different conditions here at Ascot. They've gone a fast pace. As we said, it may suit those coming late, and that's what he's done.
Mind you, Christmas happened for him there with that gap appearing on the rails. Normally, possibly, you would have to have gone.
Will the ground sink him 11-4? Could look a colossal price in about 5 minutes' time. Now, 30 years ago, Park Top was beaten in the Eclipse, one of the great shocks in the Eclipse, by Wolver Hollow, trained by one HRA Cecil. 1969, his first big race winner for Henry Cecil. This Chester House now is in from 7-1 into 6-1. They're now calling 5-2 against Crocker Rouge. The 11-4 has gone against the favourite. 6-1 at the bottom, Fantastic Light, and Czar is also a 6-1 chance. 7-1 Lear Spear, 8 Insatiable, 9 Running Swag, and 25-1 The Rag.
Kick away then for the Coral Eclipse. Now, where does the early pace come from? It'll be fascinating to see. On the extreme left, we've got Insatiable. Compton Admiral holding a good position early. Czar, the forgotten horse of the race, is up with the pace. Chester House is down the back. The favourite Crocker Rouge is covered up as they make their way through the first quarter mile. And it's Czar who just has the edge too. Running Stag holding a good position. Insatiable third. Compton Admiral running 4. And then we've got Crocker Rouge and Fantastic Light, and Chester House and Lear Spear is 8 of 8 as they spin through the first quarter mile. Taken there by Frankie Dettori on Czar, who has the edge. A Group 1 winner, Czar. Ears Prick 2. Running Stag, the orange sleeves, a horse that has a big kick finish. And if anything, the pace has been steadied there through the second and third furlongs. Czar just has it. 2 Running Stag, Insatiable, and then Fantastic Light, who's on the outside. Behind these goes Lear Spear with a bit of a run. After that one, Crocker Rouge. Chester House still at the back of the pack. Compton Admiral tucked away, the white cap running the rails, spinning out of the turn, and they come halfway in the Coral Eclipse. And it's a faster time than the big handicap here yesterday. So they begin the turn out of the back straight. It's Czar that has the edge. 2 Fantastic Light. keeping Running Stag in. Insatiable runs the rail. Then we got Lear Spear. Richard Quinn's made the move there from 5 down to the 3. Croco Rouge, the quarter cap of black and white, is covered up. A good position for him, 6-1 bar. That includes Chester House on the outside on the extreme right. So they wind it up as they pass the 3. And it's Tsar that still has the edge. Here comes Running Stag, the American horse. Chester House the outside. He's still covered up on Croco Rouge. Will he get a run? Yellow cap Insatiable, they pass the 2. And still Tsar has the edge. 2 in second place, Running Stag. White cap, Confident Admiral puts in a big finish. Croco Rouge is all over the shop, finding a run on this fast ground. He's done inside the final furlong. Tsar, Frankie has dominated. Confident Admiral, white cap, light blue cap, Fantastic Light, pink cap, Chester House as they race to the line. Confident Admiral Pickens and steals the Coral Eclipse. Confident Admiral cheekily from Tsar, then came Fantastic Light and then Chester House and then Running Stag and Insatiable. What a big flop, Croco Rouge. That French hoodoo contains that Lear Spear was dropped out to be last of all, and so Dazzler Dazzle on Dallel Holland on Confident Admiral has taken this, the Coral Eclipse, and caused at 20-1, one of the upsets in the race. He's won it very cheekily indeed for this Eric Penser-owned horse, the white cap there. Look at Darrell go to work, grits his teeth, determination. Second horse home is Tsar, legs of lead in the last 50 yards. Third horse home is Fantastic Light, who's run a big race too on his favourite course. But a terrific performance by horse and jockey, and of course Gerald Buckley, the trainer. That's the winner, Compton Admiral.
Sweat up a little bit. The drive down pretty early was a horse that Willie Ryan rides, Tipsy Creek. That flew down, and we expect that to make the running stand side. Number 1, Arcadian Hero, ridden by Gerard Mossy. Now, he's drawn 1. Now, that could be the coffin box, because the far side, on the far side, it's the high numbers that they want to be on. So I said to Gerard Mossy, what are you going to do? You're going to say far side? He said, I will try and tack across. But, of course, you can't just jump out the stalls and cut across. So that's what he's going to try and do. I get the feeling that all going to come across, try and come across towards the stand side. Now, the one that could cause problems is number 12, Lavery, one of the 3 Aidan O'Brien runners in this. This is the horse that, well, he flipped over backwards in the starting stalls last time out. He's got to go in last. He can duck out underneath. So what they do with him, they'll pop him in last. As soon as he's in, they'll start like that. So we anticipate the speed on the stand side. We anticipate that Tipsy Creek will make it. And from here, straight down the course, it will take just over 70 seconds to run. They're going behind, they're loading up.
Lester Piggott, whole host of July Cup wins, More Style being the last of them. Made it virtually his own race in the 70s and 80s. I wonder which one he'd have opted to ride.
And they've taken the 30-2 and 6-1 Wannabe Grand. She's now into 11-2 favourite. And emerging as second best in the market is Bold Edge. 10-1 this morning, 10 on the course, and now 7-1 against Hannon's horse, Bold Edge. Stravinsky is easy in the betting, 8, 9, back to 8 again. Not a lot of confidence behind Stravinsky, but Bertolini is pretty tight at 9-1. The 10-1 was taken very early, that, and is then 10-1 against Vision of Night, who's drifted out from 8-1. It's quite easy to back Arcadian Hero at 12-1, and Farek. I've heard no moves for Farek in the ring, also a 12-1 chance, along with Bold Fact for Cecil and Fallon. They're also at 12-1. It's then 14-1, Sam Power Stars, a 14-1 chance. Lock Angel drifted out to 14-1, and 8 mares or fillies have won it since the war. It's 20-1 bar those, but Bold Edge is emerging now as the strongest backed horse against his favourite, Wannabe Grand, at 5.5.
Well, some of them, these horses get claustrophobic in the stalls. They have to go in as late as possible. They get permission for that. So, such an important part of a sprint. Arcadian Hero goes in to stall 1. Last will be Lavery, and also decided that Bold Edge number 3 and number 14 Sam Power Star will go in equal second last, or as near to that as possible. Bold Edge can kick back or sit back in the stalls. He did so when running a stinker in the Duke of York at York in May.
Last couple just going in. Farek over on the far side. He was the paddock pick. He impressed Graham along with Vision of Night on the way to the start. Bold Edge, Bertolini and Wannabe Grand were positives, where Stravinsky and Vision of Night were negatives, and Sheer Viking didn't impress going down.
Bit of a late move, Stravinsky now, 15-2 Stravinsky, but it's 11-2, one to be grand, 7 tight Bold Edge, 15-2 Stravinsky, and 9-1 against Bertolini.
So, Mac, with that caption we've had, would you call Stravinsky still negative?
It's been very uneasy down here, Jimbo. I have seen Michael Tabor come down, but he can't have been lumping on. I don't think there's a lot of confidence behind this Irish horse, but people are onto it. They're saying that one good gallop it did recently at Ballydoyle. Not great confidence, but it has come in the betting to 15-2. It was 10-1 top price in the offices this morning, Stravinsky.
So Lavery goes in. He'll be in for about a second.
Okay, shut. Ready?
And it's a kick away. Sheer Viking not that well away. Lavery taken back a bit. Arcadian Hero the far side. Farek, Diamond right on the stands rail. Extreme left. Tipsy Creek has got the lead of these fast horses. And then Vision of Night and Lockinge and Bold Fact and Wannabe Grand and Mitcham. Down the centre of the track, Bianconi with plenty of dash. And, of course, Bold Edge in the usual front-running position too. So, at the end of the first quarter mile, pause for a moment's breath. Bold Edge, green colours. Dark blue, Bianconi. White sleeves, Bertolini. Running the rail, Tipsy Creek can't live with it. Lock Angel behind these, then Superior Premium going out wide, cuts to the right, Farek and Diamond, Arcadian Heroes there, Stravinsky's with a run on the far side, Mitcham's outpaced, looking for Wannabe Grand, some way down at this stage, the back marker is Sheer Viking, and they come past the two, and it's Bold Edge that has it, to Bertolini, right on the stands rail, Tipsy Creek comes back from Wolf, Bold Fact with a run, and with the white cap, Arcadian Hero gets a run too, Stravinsky the far side losing into the lead, these visors have held. But look at this, Stravinsky bursts clear, and it's Stravinsky, he's annihilated the field, it's Stravinsky by a mile, to Bold Edge in second and Bertolini, then Arcadian Hero and Vision of Night, and Farek and Wannabe Grand and Sampar Star and Bianconi, and after these came Superior Premium, behind Superior Premium was Lock Angel, and then Farek followed through by Lavery and Bold Fact and Diamond, and the field trailed back to Sheer Viking, who was last of all, and so Stravinsky has just simply annihilated a class field here, this Group 1 race. Well, this really was a power performance for a horse that's come home in brilliant style. That's number 16, Stravinsky McKinnon, on this horse visor today. Second place, well, we've got the green colours of Bold Edge nosing in, just a neck in front of Bertolini with the white sleeves, and I think we'll find Arcadian Hero is 4. But the winner isn't even in that picture. That's how far he has taken apart this class field for the Darley July Cup.
Well, seeing is believing. A lot of people believed in Stravinsky, said he had prodigious ability, but not many people had seen it on the track until today, when, as Graham said, he absolutely destroyed his field. We talked about him being reminiscent of Thatching beforehand, but this was even more impressive than that. 16 leaden-footed sprinters trailed in his wake as he powered up the hill.
Oh, really scintillating performance, and this is what you come racing for, to see a real champion. And been running over a trip, obviously too far for him when you look back on his performances, but this really out of the top draw. I can't remember, certainly I haven't got the best memory in the world, I'll admit, but I can't remember seeing anything win a July Cup by such a distance and with such authority. They went a real gallop there. Bold Edge, no excuses for anything. Bold Edge took them along in the middle. Tipsy Creek took them along up the rail.
And when you think that a consistent horse like Bold Edge, with 2 top-class 6-furlong wins, to his credit this season, has run as well as anything else in the field, this demolition job. Well, they're often wrong at Ballydoyle, and a lot of the sceptics, I think that includes most of the media, thought that this was a real disappointing horse who just wouldn't deliver it on the track what he'd done at home. And today, it all came together, and well, John, I mean, he just looked in a different league to them.
Yep, absolutely. That's what they breed horses for, at Coolmore, to win races like this.
I'm just coming to see Michael Kinnan. Michael, that looks sensational. What did it feel like?
Yeah, well, he's had his few doubters over recent times, but in fairness to the horse this year, he's just never been quite right.
Yes.
But he was very brilliant today.
He was outstanding. He flew.
Yeah, she's a really top class.
How much difference did the rider make, Michael?
It just made him concentrate. He's been trying to lose his concentration a little bit, and we didn't leave anything to chance today, so...
You left nothing to chance. Today was the day. Congratulations. Well done, Ireland.
International flavour here this week. 2 French winners yesterday, Irish winner this afternoon, and just have a look. What a way to be sitting in a race where they've gone a blistering gallop, to be able to sit quietly, pick your way through. Just coming on the outside of Arcadian Hero, he was following through Bold Edge. They must have thought they had it between them, these four. Bertolini, and then when they've met the rising ground, and you can see now watching this,
settled in most of the parade. They took him quite a long way behind the other horses, but well, he was more settled, I think, today than in the Derby Grab.
Yes, he must have a great chance. I think the stewards will be having a word with Kieran Fallon afterwards for taking his horse down early. It should be the same for all of you, and it's a great test of a thoroughbred that they have to do the parade before the race, so the horse's temperament is tested as well as his speed. Number 8, Oath.
Let's have a look at Delamy, a completely different type of horse. One is a neat little fellow, and this, well, he's a giant of a horse. He's by Doyoun. He's out of a Miss Wacky mare. Really, he's not bred to get a 1.5 miles, but he did in the Coronation Cup. He really stayed on off a very forced-run race. If they go a gallop today, do you think he'll get the 1.5 miles, Graham?
Well, Frankie Dettori is the only jockey riding in the King George to have won it before. He's won it on Lantara and Swain. He'll be nursing Delamy, trying to bring him late in the straight. That's number 1, Delamy. Seems settled enough, relaxed. He is pricked. Very, very quiet, just how you'd like a horse to be before a championship race.
There's the other grey. This is number 5, Silver Patriarch. The only sad story today about Silver Patriarch is, for the second time in this horse's career, his owner, Peter Winfield, won't be here. This morning, while he was getting ready to come to Ascot, the doctor said, no, I'm afraid you've got to go to hospital and have some tests. Well, Peter, if you're watching, I'm sure you're a bigger fighter than this horse, and he doesn't know when to quit. Let's hope he gives you a good tonic today. Number 5, Silver Patriarch.
Yes, he ran badly in the race last year, boiled over that day, much more relaxed this time, and I think he might do a bit better than last year without being good enough to win. Number 5, Silver Patriarch. And here's the fairy story of the race, Fruits of Love. Just got up in Dubai to pip Nadawi, and it's strange to see Nadawi at double his odds today, but he's top class when the races run to suit him.
Stays well, gets a 1.5 miles really well. In fact, he's got a little bit warm, I thought, but it is a very warm day. Doesn't know when to quit. Real battler.
Daliapur, another one that just looks absolutely carefree in the parade ring beforehand. Number 3, Indigenous, and number 6, Sunshine Street, both got very warm. This one looks fine.
Daliapur, second in both the derbies, the Irish and in fact to the English, and in the same mould as the English Derby winner, Oath. Both tiny, neat little thoroughbreds, just the type to really scoot round Epsom. I wonder if Ascot's going to be a different type. Of course, there's only 2 to go for this great race, the King George and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. Let's join our commentator, Jim McGrath.
Thanks, Jimmy. And 5-2 Oath is going to retain favouritism, it appears. Delamy 3-1, Fruits of Love 9-2, and 8-1 about Daliapur, as Oath is going to be the last one to be loaded. Goes forward now, the Derby winner. They're ready for the King George. Set, under orders, and they're racing. Sunshine Street drops in behind today. Delamy began well, so too did Indigenous on the outside, and also going on now is Daliapur. So it's Daliapur who's going to go on the second at Epsom and also at the Curragh in both derbies. Goes on to lead Nadawi in the early stages. From in third, Indigenous refusing to settle. Then on the inside, Delamy the grey, followed out wider by Oath. 2 lengths away is the other grey, Silver Patriarch from Fruits of Love, who's about second last, and held up at the rear of the field is Sunshine Street. They're going an even pace only as they head down towards the 9-furlong marker in the King George. It's Daliapur who leads Nadawi a length away. The other Godolphin in third. That's the grey Daylami, who's tracking this leader on the inside rail as they run down to Swindley Bottom. Further back is Oath up in fourth position. The outside Indigenous, the first Hong Kong runner, has dropped back through the field, being passed by Silver Patriarch. Fruits of Love at second last, and Sunshine Street last of all. They turn out of Swindley Bottom in the King George, and Daliapur makes the running by half a length. Nadawi the outside, a length and a half then to Oath, who's in a beautiful position up on the outside of Daylami. 2 lengths away then is Silver Patriarch as they start this stiff uphill climb now and past the 6-furlong marker. It's Daliapur and Nadawi, 2 lengths to Oath on the outside of Daylami. 3 lengths away then is Silver Patriarch being niggled along from Indigenous. 2 lengths to Sunshine Street, and Fruits of Love at the 5-furlong marker has 7 lengths to make up, but Olivier Pallier is now starting to get to work. It's Nadawi up on the outside of Daliapur as they race towards the half-mile marker in the King George. 2 lengths to Oath, who's had the run of the race. Then Daylami, who's lost a length or so, followed by Silver Patriarch. Indigenous. They're followed by Sunshine Street, and Fruits of Love is giving them 8 lengths starting to the straight. It's Nadawi, the leader, by half a length. He's taken it up clearly from Daliapur. Here's Oath, the Derby winner, now set sail up on the outside. Daylami behind them. Further back in the field, Silver Patriarch, and a long way back is Fruits of Love. They've got 2 furlongs left to travel. Nadawi on the far side being tackled now by his stablemate Daylami. Oath couldn't find any more. Indigenous running a big race. Fruits of Love battling on, but that's Daylami who sprints for home at the furlong. Goes 3 in front of Nadawi and Fruits of Love, and it's all over. Daylami's going to win the King George, the 6th and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. Daylami wins it for Godolphin. It's a Godolphin 1-2 as well, because Nadawi takes second, followed by Fruits of Love third. He made up an enormous amount of ground. And then Silver Patriarch from Indigenous, who ran very well. Then Sunshine Street. Oath is second last, and Daliapur last to finish. Well, the Derby form taking a blow there, but the winner is Daylami, number 1, in the Godolphin colours, ridden by Frankie Dettori and trained by Syed bin Saru. It's won by a street. It's won by 5 lengths. Nadawi gets second. So it's Daylami from Nadawi. Then in third is Fruits of Love. Fourth is Silver Patriarch. In fifth, on the far side, is Sunshine Street. Sixth, the Hong Kong runner, Indigenous, great run. It beats home the Derby winner. There's something for him for Hong Kong. Then in seventh, we see Oath, and last of the 8 runners is Daliapur. The 1-2 in the Derby at Epsom have finished second last and last respectively, but the winner is number 1, Daylami, in the Godolphin colours and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Second, also in the Godolphin colours, trained by Syed bin Saru, is number 4, Nadawi, ridden by Gary Stevens, and third is number 2, Fruits of Love, owned by Mick Doyle, trained by Mark Johnson, ridden by Olivier Pallier. Fourth, number 5, Silver Patriarch, ran so well for Peter Winfield, and fifth, Sunshine Street. But the winner, an emphatic winner as well, a 3-to-1 winner. That's Daylami, the winner of the King George of '99.
Well, what an extraordinary race this was, because Gary Stevens didn't have the early pace on Nadawi to go on and make the running himself. Daliapur made it with Gerard Mosse. At this stage, Oath is already beaten. Very, very disappointing. Both the 3-year-olds were. And Frankie Dettori, having looked to be going not that well, turning into the straight, presses go on Daylami and streaks clear, Willie.
Yes, he's done it really, really well. As Frankie told us, this horse was trained for this race, and that's what it looked like. He's got the 1.5 miles really well today. They didn't go that fast, actually. It was a sort of ordinary pace, but Frankie, who was in the box seat, decided about 5 furlongs from home to get behind Oath, let Oath go in front of him, and then he followed Oath and he said, turning for him, I got you beat. And of course the 2 3-year-olds, they've actually finished last and second last, which is not very good for the Derby form.
No, it isn't. Daylami returned at 3-to-1, beating Nadawi at 8-to-1, a 1-2 for Godolphin. And Fruits of Love ran on very well to take third place at 4-to-1, confirming that form in Nadawi from Dubai. They're very, very similar horses on form. But Frankie Dettori, he's won the King George twice before. He does it again, a third time on Daylami.
But if they're not, she's in there with a chance.
Kissagram there finished 4th in this race last year and has won 3 times from a mile to about 1.25 miles as a 3-year-old, and actually won a Group 2 in October She's had one run already this season, Willie, and she was a little bit disappointing.
Fourth.
Yeah.
In the Brigadier Gerard Stakes. That day
behind Chester House, wasn't
it? Yes, behind Chester. She pulled very hard, didn't settle, wouldn't settle, and it was a bit disappointing. But when we saw that film earlier, we saw her getting well beaten by Albarada. She finished 3.5 lengths behind Albarada in this race last year.
Alabac in your picture now, just being loaded up. Very small filly of Hamdam Al Maktoum's. They're all in. Jim.
Ready and racing. Eased out the back early as Diamond White on settling down. Lady in Waiting going on here, and the French filly Juvenia up on the outside. Kissagram just drops in behind. Albarada the grey smothered up in the middle of the field there, and going up on the outside with a white cap, Zarat Dubai now takes it up. Tracking her is nearest the camera Alabac, and back in the field behind the grey Albarada is Diamond White in company with Cape Verde. But it's Zarat Dubai who goes on for Gary Stevens, leads by 2 lengths. Lady in Waiting, Alabac, Kissagram and Albarada. Albarada up on the outside, the grey there of Juvenia, and 1.5 lengths then to Cape Verde as they pass the 6, and Diamond White, who's having a 15th start of the season, is last of all. But racing uphill towards the highest point of the course, and Gary Stevens on Zarat Dubai leads the way here by a length. The Lady in Waiting 2 lengths away, and third is Kissagram. Alabac out wider. Albarada's had a good run on the outside of Juvenia, followed then by Cape Verde, and last of all Diamond White as they start to freewheel downhill, short of half a mile to go in the Vodafone Nassau Stakes. Out in front with ears pricked, it's the big filly Zarat Dubai by 3 parts of a length. The Lady in Waiting, then on the outside Alabac. Kissagram gets to work the far side. They're followed by Albarada, who's now easing to the outer with Cape Verde down the outside. Diamond White is next from Juvenia, but with ears pricked, it's still Zarat Dubai past the 3, who shows them a clean pair of heels. In second now is Alabac from Lady in Waiting. Here's Cape Verde and Albarada, who are on the outside. Further back in the field then is Kissagram. Racing inside the 2 now, it's Zarat Dubai who still defies them. On the outside, Lady in Waiting. Here's Alabac and Cape Verde. Albarada in behind under the whip. Diamond White is running on as well. They're stretched across the track. 4 or 5 in with a chance. Zarat Dubai still in front of Lady in Waiting. And now Diamond White getting through along the inside from Kissagram. Zarat Dubai, though, still in front, and Zarat Dubai is going to win it. Zarat Dubai, photo second, Lady in Waiting and Diamond White, then Kissagram from Albarada, Juvenia, then Alabac, and last to finish is Cape Verde, last year's 1,000 guineas winner. But it's the other Godolphin who's won it, and that's Zarat Dubai, another perfect ride from Gary Stevens. There it is in front. There she is, Zarat Dubai. She's won it about a neck to Lady in Waiting on the near side, and Diamond White the far side. That's a photo there. And just behind them in the spots is Kissagram. Albarada, great run first time out, but beaten a fair way out. Then Alabac, followed by Juvenia, and unfortunately 4 lengths away last is Cape Verde. The winner is number 8, Zarat Dubai, owned by Godolphin, trained by Syed bin Sarur, ridden by Gary Stevens, his 32nd winner of the season. Second is number 5, or no, it's a photo officially, and it's between 5. Lady in Waiting, owned by Pegasus Racing, trained by Paul Cole, ridden by Kieran Fallon. The other one in the photo, number 3, Diamond White. What a race she ran, owned by Peter Scott, trained by Mick Ryan and ridden by Ray Cochran. And fourth was Kissagram. But the 5-to-1 winner, the 5-to-1 winner here, Zarat Dubai, has won for Gary Stevens. And how unfortunate it is that he looks like going back to the States, because this man is a very, very talented rider. We're privileged to have him here.
Gary Stevens went on and decided to make the running. Lady in Waiting never really got to the front, and Gary Stevens has done the right thing really, although Kieran Fallon on Lady in Waiting very nearly catches the filly in front. Frankie Dettori gave you the biggest clue in that pre-race interview. He said Zarat Dubai is no second string. She does drift over to the far side and I think interferes with Kissagram. We'll see that in a minute. Albarada never really going, Willie, but I think maybe your comment before was right. It was a bit of a soft race.
Yes, well, yes, when you must say that after the Diamond White looks like actually winning in the last 100 yards. But this winner, Zarat Dubai, the Umfawin filly, she's in front, you know, and she's not doing anything. She's absolutely just floating about in front there. As soon as Gary Stevens gives her a tap down the shoulder, she goes and just just does enough. Now, here we have the head on.
Yeah, not surprisingly, they've announced a steward's inquiry, and this is why Zarat Dubai does drift over. I think you'll see her interfering with Kissagram. It's Diamond White over on the left. Kissagram actually coming off, Diamond White coming off the rail as Zarat Dubai goes over, and Kissagram is definitely interfered with there.
Yes, there is I think you could say there was a slight contact, but the question will be asked, did it interfere with Kissagram's chances? Well, I don't know. He's finished, what is he finished? Fourth.
Fourth in the end, yeah.
And he's been beaten...
not very far.
Not that far. Maybe the stewards will take some action, maybe they won't. It's one of those 50-50s, but there was a little bit of contact there. You can see Kissagram's tongue hanging out, and Gary Stevens just went for it there, and he's just let his animal go down to the right there, and he's corrected her. Straight away, he corrected her.
And he has got his stick in his right hand, which is the correct hand to have it. Diamond White over on the other side up with Ray Cochrane, I think, rolled off the rail a bit as well.
Maybe, but there is definitely room for the stewards to make an inquiry into the result of this race.
A lovely looking filly though, nice handshake there between Frankie Dettori and Gary Stevens. Jim, Zarat Dubai, she's smashing looking, isn't she?
She's a lovely filly, Claire, yes, and a big one too, look at her. But the stewards are going to have to decide whether that little piece of interference was accidental, whether it was careless, or whether it was irresponsible. I don't think it was irresponsible, and the way he looked back when obviously Olivier Pallier on Kissagram did shout, it does seem to suggest that it was accidental. If it is, the stewards have the power to let this filly keep the race if indeed she hadn't improved her place by that piece of interference. So if you back Zarat Dubai, you've got a good chance of getting the money even after the inquiry. Still no official result on the second.
Just a look at the breeding there of Zarat Dubai, and she's by a horse you knew well,
On for when, you know, he's by the all-conquering Northern Dancer. He is actually the only son of Northern Dancer standing in England at this present time. And of course, he's out of height of fashion, the dam of Nash, the dash. And of course, the Wellsiana, a Star Appeal mare. Star Appeal, who won the Arc de Triomphe for the German Omens Gravel Stark, he rode that one. And the dam is Wondrous Pearl, which I don't really know too much about.
So but effectively, she's bred for further than a mile and a quarter.
Definitely would get a further and a mile and a quarter. You would say this filly is nailed on to stay further a mile and a half.
Now the official placings, the judge has given Lady in Waiting second, number 5 Lady in Waiting is second, number 3 Diamond White is third, and the distances were a half length and ahead, the time 2:05.56, and it's a pretty fast time, by nearly a second faster than standard. Now let's check the full SP on the Nassau Stakes.
First, number 8, Zarat Dubai at 5-1. Second, number 5, Lady in Waiting at 9-1. And third, number 3, Diamond White at 50-1. They all ran 8, but there is a steward's inquiry.
I'm pretty sure that is Gary Stevens is absolutely certain, actually, that it's his first Group 1 winner in this country. So, I suppose.
Very nice for One. If he keeps the race for the, you know, One, he's a very good stallion. And as I said, he's the only stallion in this country by the great Northern Dancer.
But Gary Stevens, we think he might be leaving. It'd be a shame.
Well, it's up in the air at the moment. Nothing more to be said about that. In another few days, a statement will be arriving on the scene.
Well, we'll have plenty to say, though, about the Vodafone Stewards Cup, and that's coming up at 3:50.
Your Highness. Yes, subject to a steward's inquiry. Zarat Dubai, winner of the Nassau Stakes. The result of that steward's inquiry as and when we get it. But as Claire said there, the 30-horse sprint of the Stewards Cup will complete our coverage from Goodwood in about 10 minutes' time. Meantime, briefly back to Wentworth, the one-man sprint of Alberto Croce in the Energist Senior Masters. We're back with Dougie Donnelly.
Thanks, Steve. And if you are intending, incidentally, to come along to tomorrow's final round in this glorious sunshine, let me quickly remind you that it's an early finish. We'll be on air at 1 until 3 with
Ray's got the key to him to get the best out of him. And he's coming out, as you say, the low number, draw 3. Very tricky customer too.
Yeah, sure. Barry Hill's been good form this season. But this a very difficult race to win. The man who did it last year was Richard Fahey, who's got both Superior Premium in the race and Night Flight. Both of those have got a very good chance. Frankie Dettori for Night Flight, and you must be very keen on the horse.
Yeah, I mean, Robert would have ridden him, I'd say, or, well, I'm not sure which way Robert would have gone. Frankie's ridden him once and won on him. Rang the agent the other day, and he seemed quite keen for him to ride, so that's always a good sign.
And he's been in fantastic form, the horse.
Yeah, he's done very well this year. He's won 3 competitive handicaps. Absolutely delighted with him. He's had a lot of problems, and we seem to have sorted a few of them out. So he's only doing what I felt he could do last year, but now he's doing it this year.
And you think he's got a decent draw?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the draw is going to make a whole lot of difference today now. I mean, I'll probably be made to eat me words there. I'll use it as an excuse later on, but I don't think there's any problem with the draw anywhere today.
Well, also in the race, you've got last year's winner, Superior Premium, who's top weight. That's a lot to ask, is it?
It's an awful lot to ask, but he likes to track. I mean, he's in better form he's been in his life at the moment. I mean, his fourth at Royal Ascot was a very, very good run. His last run probably wasn't a bad run. There won't be any Stravinskys today. So, I mean, I'm happy enough to run him. I think Goodwood's a place, if they act here, give him a try. So.
Yeah, but I'll tell him why.
Night Shot there in the foreground, just beginning to sweat up. Kieran Fallon on board that one, and he's had some decent form, Willie, last time, second to Arcadian Hero.
And that was in a listed race at Newbury. And this drop in class today, just, you know, he might have a big chance because he was 6th in this race from a bad draw last year.
He was. He won the race on the stand side. This time he's drawn 24. And he's got a good chance, Night Shot. We've already talked about him, just Night Shot there, just getting a little bit warm. It is a very, very warm day. Lochleard walking through there. Now, here's an interesting contender. This is Tussle, trained by Michael Bell, was well fancied for the Wokingham, wasn't he, Willie? And has to have a chance.
He was trained for the Wokingham this year, and of course he was on the far side that day, and then he ran in a 5-furlong race again at Ascot, and possibly that was a bit short for him, and you know, he didn't quite get a clear run that day. So this fella, back to 6 furlongs, might do better.
He looks very, very well as well. Double Oscar, we heard David Nicholls talking about him earlier on, how he loves to come from right off the pace at the back of the field. Adrian Nicholls, who rode a treble yesterday, is in fantastic form. And this is a horse that won here, actually won the Charlton handicap at Goodwood last year. So he loves the course, the trainer's in form, so's the jockey. And he's only got 7 stone 5 on his back. Definite each-way chance for Double Oscar. Horse number 9 in your picture there is Deep Space, trained by Ed Dunlop, the horse that got up in a very tight photo finish to beat Halmahera in the Wokingham handicap. Gary Carter, interestingly, rode Pepperdine at York, but he sticks with this horse, and I don't know whether he got the clear choice. I would imagine he did. But he obviously thinks Deep Space has got a fantastic chance, although that draw, he's coming out of stall 17, Willie, and not ideal coming out of the middle.
Well, in the middle, I suppose he'll go he'll go towards the far side, drawing 17. He's by Green Desert, this fella. And, you know, he had a tremendous duel with Halmahera, and he's not sweating as much as the others, you know. Taking it well, isn't he?
He ran badly after that in the Bunbury Cup. Might just appreciate slightly softer ground. Just check the betting again with Angus.
Still 9-2 Pepperdine, but all the money on the racecourse here, apart from for the favourites, come from Night Shot, the best back horse on the course by a long way. 10-1, 8-1, 15-2, and now 7-1. Also, Magic Rainbow and Double Oscar are solidly being backed, as is Cadeau Share. They've just come in for that one, taking the 12s. It's now 11-1. The favourite Pepperdine is now a 5-1 favourite, simply because of the support for Night Shot. 5-1 the field, 12-1 bar 5 in the Stewards' Cup.
Very interesting betting, and Willie looks sure that we'll be late off.
Yes, we'll be late off because 30 runners, every girth has to be checked down at the start. They have to put the stalls together after the horses are behind the stalls. So that all takes time. And the interesting thing about the girths being tested is that Pepperdine, you know, when he saddle slipped at York when he won that day, I noticed that he has a breast girth on today.
Very good point. Halmahera in the middle of your shot there is the horse that was just beaten by Deep Space. Smashing little horse, real chunky, typical sprinter build.
Yes, he was beaten a short head in the Wokingham, and he raised £7 for that that good run, and it's good form, very good form, and an obvious horse that's got a chance. Your father would say so, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he certainly would. He trains him. He's been consistent all season, 4 seconds, and he did finally win last time out. So he's in very good form. Harmonic Way in your picture there, trained by Roger Charlton. Richard Hughes on board this one, coming out of stall 8. He's a very consistent horse. He's nearly always in the frame, but he's actually only ever won once in his life, 2 years ago in a maiden race. He was second last time out with Primo Lara and Locklaird behind him, and it's pretty unlikely that he'll end that losing sequence in this. I suppose what the bookmakers call a professional loser, but a very consistent horse.
Yes, but he's coming down in class as well, so that might just help him. It was a rated race he ran in.
Double bounced, number 30 was just in your picture there with Chris Rutter on board. And there is Magic Rainbow, who is very much featured in the betting. 10 to 1 now. Richard Mullen on board this one for Michael Bell. And Magic Rainbow has a very decent draw in stall 26. That's where Michael Bell wanted to be coming out of, and I think this horse has a very big chance, Willie.
Yeah, he was second, was second last time, and he loves the firm ground. And don't forget, he was second to Danny Nichols' Rudy's Pet, who's a very much improved horse. So that form looks very good indeed.
Magic Rainbow with a chance, but also Literary Society. I love this little horse. He looks like the tip of his nose has been dipped in paint. He's got wonderful markings. He's the horse that stumbled out of the stalls in the Wokingham, and Seb Sanders ended up eating the grass. But since then, he's run well at Ascot last Sunday, actually, with his jockey today, Simon Whitworth, on board, so I'm sure he'll jump out safe and sound today. Jim, which side do you think will have the advantage?
I thought the high numbers, Claire. I know that Seamus Buckley thinks there'll be plenty of speed on the near side rail. Periston View's certain to blaze a trail there. But the last one going in now, we'll soon know. That's it. Ready for the Stewards Cup. Under orders. And away they go. And Periston View over on the far side, one of the first out from Brave Edge, and Caddo Share and Double Oscar away fairly well too in the early stages. On the near side, as they go over to the far side, Periston View leads Brave Edge and also their Superior Premium. Over on the far side, as we look at them, is Iris May, who blazes the trail there. Magic Rainbow showing plenty of dash, but Periston View on the stands rail leads them by about 3 lengths in the Stewards Cup. Up there too is Twice as Sharp, not that far away. And over on the far side, it's Iris May who shows the way there. Also up in a prominent position is Primo Lara, Magic Rainbow, Pepperdine not that far away, then Double Oscar. The near side rail, it's Periston View who shows the way from Superior Premium, followed then by Brave Edge. Then further back is Twice as Sharp, Silver Paradise. They've got it on the far side, Iris May, Magic Rainbow. Literary Society is running on from Pepperdine, Double Oscar, then Night Flight behind them. Near side rail, it's Harmonic Way running on from Twice as Sharp, Almahera, but it's Literary Society, the far side. Harmonic Way, the near side. Harmonic Way is going to win the Stewards Cup. Harmonic Way beats Literary Society. Almahera might have got third ahead of Twice as Sharp, then Locklaird, followed by Silver Paradise. Last to finish is Indian Spark, but Harmonic Way on the near side has got the money here for Richard Hughes, trained by Roger Charlton. Now it's very close, a photo second. Halmahera on the near side might just get second ahead of Literary Society, the far side. And fourth is Twice as Sharp. Then Silver Paradise from Brave Edge. Locklaird is behind them. Then in the blue jacket is Levelled. On the near side rail, Caddo Share. Then Superior Premium. Then over on the far side, Deep Space. Couple of lengths to Periston View, who was the early leader. Iris May, who led them the far side, has got tired. They're followed next by Double Oscar. Then it's Magic Rainbow from Night Shot, Night Flight, the far side. Pepperdine, the favourite, right in the middle of the pack. Then on the near side is Amazing Dream. Silka Blanca, the far side, from Counter Aquina. Then Champagne Rider. Primo Lara is next from Red Lion. They're followed then by Coastal Bluff. Further back then is... We see Now Look Here from Tussle, who was not sighted. Double Bounce is there as well. Then Price of Passion. And the last home was Indian Spark. That's where your money went in the Stewards Cup. A 12 to 1 winner, Harmonic Way. He hasn't done much winning in his career, but he's landed a real big one today. Number 14, Harmonic Way, owned by Alexandra Chandris, trained by Roger Charlton, ridden by Richard Hughes. is the winner. A photo second. Looks like 2 Helmer Hera on the near side, owned by Robert Hitchens, trained by Ian Balding, ridden by Kevin Darley. Might have just got second ahead of number 15, Literary Society, owned by Lady Selina Carter, trained by James Toller and ridden by Simon Whitworth. That is a photo though. And fourth, number 16, Twice as Sharp, owned by Formula 12, trained by Peter Harris, ridden by Pat Edry. There is the winner though, Harmonic Way. He's been fancied for this race before. He's run well in handicaps, but today is his day.
Absolutely amazing to end a losing run in a race like this, and Harmonic Way in the end has done it very well. And very interesting how the draw has turned around from last year. Seamus Buckley was right. He's been telling us all week that the stand side would have the advantage. They certainly did. I felt very sorry for Literary Society, who got that run up the far rail but ended up racing on his own, Willie, and in the end only finished third.
Yes.
That's Literary Society,
Yes,
right
on the rails, and the blue cap there and the yellow, and Literary Society won his race real well on the far side. We had 2 races up to the sort of 2 furlongs, and then they spread out a bit, and now you can see the winner, Harmonic Way, just coming away from the others with the red cap there, and Richard Hughes putting it. What was he having? Oh dear, he's having a signal to the crowd there, and
he's done it cosily in the end. Let's just move it on, because Helmer Hera has just got second. I think the second big handicap. He's finished second in this year, having just been
second
beaten
at
in the Wokingham. Literary Society over the far side, and then back over the near side.
A surge in the lead from Norwood and Mindus. Castle keeper Mr. Floro Carbon. A surge drawing right away from these. Going to win it very, very handsomely indeed. A surge, a very impressive winner. A surge is the winner.
Assert, a standard to follow. Who'll match it today?
Well, which one of these will put in a performance to match one of those we've just seen, if any? This horse certainly, at the end of last season, Royal Anthem would have been on the short list. He's been disappointing, well, relatively in terms of what he showed last year. And let's have it his first run this year in the Coronation Cup at Epsom. Looked a little bit stuffy beforehand, looked as though the race would do him good. Came there with every chance, but he was always up there in the first 2 or 3. Daylami came on the scene late on in the straight, and at this point you thought that maybe his stamina was going to come into play, even if he was just actually short of a race. But it was the grey who got the upper hand in the last 150 yards. That wasn't a disappointing run itself. That was beaten by a good horse then, but he went on, and he was disappointing next time out at Royal Ascot, where he was beaten by Fruits of Love.
Well, 14 months ago, this colt looked as though he'd sweep all before him. He won the Glasgow Stakes here at the May meeting, but then was injured in the Derby. He's taken a while to come back, but he certainly looked that way at Haydock last time out. Prolix in front, conceding weights, and you have to say the standard of the field is a good way removed from what he faces here, but it was the style of the performance. He comes more or less away as he pleased. Still a bit green, he's only had a handful of races. Gary Stevens had a lot of horse left under him, and the first drew right away.
Well, Compton Admiral was a good winner of the Eclipse, came from an impossible position, wasn't the fastest run race, looked boxed in with nowhere to go, and when he did come out, he really flew up the last 100 yards. And this was 1.25 miles, same trip again this afternoon, and he looks a big price on this performance. Just nudging his way through at this point, and Tsar just has to give way to him in the last 50 yards. Fantastic Light skips this race to take a chance in the next. Had Chester House on in fourth, and I thought he was a decent winner then. Al-Mutua Kal, already the winner of almost £2 million, most of it courtesy of the Dubai World Cup, just going in. Fascinating race, you can make cases for all of them.
Royal Anthem and Greek Dance, they can't separate them, both 3-1. Al-Mutawakel 6s, and then it's 10-1 or bigger. Compton Admiral, Golden Snake, 12-1 upwards the rest.
Quick look at the eye catchers. Greek Dance, Al-Mutawakel, Royal Anthem gets 2, also another one for Greek Dance in the betting.
Good shot. You're all right.
Pegnitz a little bit slow to go. Funny expecting him to make the running. Winners of 4 million winning place prize money. Group 1 Juddmonte International then, and setting the tone up front to the horse with the white face. On the outside is Central Park, but through on the inside we've got Golden Snake going 1 and 2. With a pace visor for the first time and running free Saffron Walden now. So they make the first turn. The pace is very strong. It's next to the rails, Golden Snake, Saffron Walden and Central Park 1, 2 and 3. Mutawakel running 4. Green Cap on the outside, Royal Anthem in a good stride. Pegnitz follows. Then Saffron Walden and Greek Dance the light blue. Pink Cap the rail Chester House. Orange colours Compton Admiral. And Al Mushtarak is towards the rear with Kissagram. So it's still Golden Snake that just has the edge by about a neck to a half. To Saffron Walden in second and Central Park third and Royal Anthem running in 4. Al Mukhtawakel the outside of Chester House and Pegnitz followed through by Greek Dance and Compton Admiral. Then Kissagram and Al Mushtarak still sits at the back. Look at a giant stride. Royal Anthem aggressive now as they start the turn past the 5 into the lead. To in second place Golden Snake. The pace is not fast enough for Gary Stevens on Royal Anthem, and he comes to take command. The 3-to-1 joint favourite with Greek Dance, who's covered up for Kieran Fallon, past the 4 furlong marker on a long rein and a giant stride. Royal Anthem, but being hounded in by Greek Dance. Running the rail is Golden Snake, who's running bravely. After these comes Chester House. Al Mutawakel isn't done with. White Cap Compton Admiral starts to pick up. Al Mushtarak on the wide outside. They come past the 2, and at this speed distance it's Royal Anthem that goes into a length and a half lead over Greek Dance in second. Back in third is Chester House. Al Mushtarak behind these, and a world performance here as Royal Anthem lengthens a giant stride, and that makes the race all over. The Juddmonte International will be claimed by Royal Anthem, who streaks away for them. 5, 6, 8 clear up towards the line. The most impressive Royal Anthem wins to Greek Dance an honourable second. Tied for second Chester House and Al Mushtarak, and then Compton Place and Golden Snake and Al Mutawakel followed through by Pegnitz and Kissagram, and then Salford Express. In the end, Saffron Walden finished last of all. Just in front of him was Central Park, and by gum, this is a performance simply to take the breath away. The winner, 3-to-1 joint favourite Royal Anthem in the colours of the Thoroughbred Corporation. An impressive performance, a truly magnificent performance. Henry Cecil trains and Gary Stevens has ridden this horse, and this is going to take us through the world. Gosh. Second horse home was Greek Dance, no slouch with just second, and it's a very close call for third between, and that's one for the judge. Pink Cap next to the rails. We have Chester House down the centre of the track in the white colours, Al Mushtarak, and between the pair, very brave Compton Admiral. Now they edge through, and then we've got in the red cap Golden Snake, and in the blue colours Al Mutawakel, and then Pegnitz in front of the black and white of Kissagram, and these are in front of Salford Express. Confirmed third, Chester House. Henry Cecil then with Royal Anthem and a horse in those famous green and white stripes that are going to play a significant role on the world stage.
Well, destruction here. This horse looked in a totally different league. He's destroyed a high-quality field. He's broken the record. We haven't had the distance yet, but it's certainly further than the 5 lengths Ascot won. And he's done it, John, by stretching them from the home turn.
Well, this is what you come racing for, to see something a bit special. As I said, he was slightly disappointing on his last run at Ascot, but today he's really shown what they've always thought he could do.
Gary Stevens, what was that like?
Tom McLaughlin, bit of a hard time there in stall 15. Got him now, the eye catchers, Lockinge, Dashing Blue, Flanders and Stravinsky.
Darryl Holland, Michael Hills and Frankie. Darryl Holland, Michael Hills and Frankie.
Another huge bet for Stravinsky. Hills have laid a 22,000 to 20 bet. That's 22,020. That's Stravinsky. That's why it's now even money. Some bookmakers are asking for odds of 11 to 10. Evens the top price. A wholesale gamble now on bookmakers who've done so much money here today on Sugarfoot and also on Innuendo. They're laying this Stravinsky. The top price now, even money. The grands, the 5 grands, the 2 grands. There's small beer now as going on Kinan's horse.
Stravinsky's trying to get down under the stalls. Real anxious moments for the favourite here. Tried to get his head under the stall there. Michael Kinan just managed to keep him up. Padded at the front. And the horse panics. He can't see much because of the visor he's got on. And you have to be quick. Seen 1 or 2 accidents over the years, and lucky there wasn't one there.
Yeah, really good picture there. You'd see how nimble Michael Kinan was once they get their head down and they actually just get their ears under that front gate. Almost impossible to get it back. It was a lot closer than he'd have liked for comfort, I'd imagine. Only look as though there are 2 or 3 left to go in. He's even money favourite, Stravinsky, for his July Cup Nunthorpe double. Lockinge 7 to 1 to give herself a 2nd consecutive win in the race. St. Marine, the French runner, also on 7 to 1. Dashing Blue 10s, Flanders 14, and Averti 16 to 1.
Cordicky Castle giving a lot of trouble. Averti goes in late. He's a panicker in the stall. So is Rambling Bear, but they're going forward now. Here's Graham.
An explosion of speed. Kick away, Stravinsky gets a good break, a little bit slow to go, Rosselli. Flanders on the extreme left is up with a fast pace. St. Marine, Dashing Blue, Proud Native, Almaty out wide. Also Night Flight, Lock Angel's there as well. And Lock Angel and Tipsy Creek come to head off the field. At this stage, Stravinsky is 3 or 4 lengths down off a very fast pace set by St. Marine that blitzes and goes at 1.5 in front of the grey Night Flight. Lock Angel, Stravinsky is in the firing line, getting momentum now and coming forward. Then behind those, Tipsy Creek, Flanders behind that, followed by Averti. Rambling Bear, Dashing Blue is covered up. Rambling Bear taken back there, but it's St. Marine who had a faller at the rear of the field was Rambling Bear. They come inside the final furlong, and as they do so, it's Stravinsky coming through now. Stravinsky in the lead as they pass the furlong pole, but St. Marine is trying to come back. But now, watch the giant go, and it's Stravinsky by 1, by 2, up towards the line, and Stravinsky wins the Persimmon Homes Dunthorpe. St. Marine 2nd, Proud Native 3rd, and then behind these came Night Shot, who finished in front of Dashing Blue. After that, Averti, and then Lock Angel, then Cordicky Castle and Rosselli and Night Flight, and Cheer Viking and Flanders was towards the back. The horse is okay, but the jockey is still on the ground. This looks as if the saddle slipped. He just had to be checked. We'll be able to review the action with the head on there, but the horse is blazing away, and it might take some time to catch him. But that's rather detracted. The ambulance is so quickly on the scene. The paramedics are there already, and Ray Cochrane, the rider of Rambling Bear, is being consoled. However, the winner here is Stravinsky. Another blazing performance of pace and speed and style, taking him a long time to pick up, to pull up. Stravinsky, Michael Tabor, John Magnier, another Group 1 winner. So to Aidan O'Brien.
Well, let's hope Ray Cochrane's all right. Just saw Rambling Bear almost came within inches of taking the back end off of Stravinsky, but just have a look, because he's gone down. They're probably doing the best part of 40 mile an hour at this point, and luckily he's only got 1 horse behind him, and that's you just see that he went down just like a ton of bricks. The horse just came over, gave him a kicking, and well, good to see him sitting up, Ray Cochrane.
John, do you think that was caused by Tipsy Creek was coming back through the pack as though something had gone wrong with him? Well, Ray is able to walk, but you're just looking at his face there, not surprising, he looks completely shell-shocked. Let's take another view of this. I think the horse ran into the back of, something happened to Tipsy Creek as though he might have burst or injured himself, and he went back through the field quickly. Look at Richard Hills in the yellow blinkers, trying to take back, and he bumps his brother's horse there, Michael Hills's ride, and Ray Cochrane maybe just clipped the side of him as he went. Sheer Viking, the other horse there, but certainly that was involved, and Ray with a wry smile there. He's a very tough man, but at his age, well, at any age, you don't want to be falling at 40 miles an hour, and thank God that wasn't worse.
Such relief to see Ray Cochrane and Rambling Bear back on their feet, and so much relief for the punters, not relief, more ammunition for them after this. Stravinsky, who was 13-8 general in the offices this morning, other firms went 11-8. Coral knew they only went 5-4, touched 6-5 on the course, and returned the even money favourite. That's Stravinsky. Beats last year's runner-up St Marine, second again at 7-1, and Silver Fling was twice second in the 80s in the Nunthorpe. The third was Proud Native at 16-1. The distances 1.5 lengths on the same, and that's Stravinsky, the 30th favourite in 74 runnings to win the Nunthorpe, but the first since the odds-on 2-year-old Lyric Fantasy 7 years ago. And you go back to the Flying Mumtaz Mahal in 1924 and Golden Boss in 1923, the 18th horse to complete the July Dart Stakes and Nunthorpe Double, and the 5th Irish train winner come in, Michael Kinnan on Stravinsky, calling the tune as so many thought he would.
Well, Michael, it was fantastic at Newmarket. What was this like over 5 today?
I just caught him a little unawares at halfway through, but he picked him up in 2 strides. You know, he's exceptionally fast horse.
He picked them up in 2 strides.
You know, I had 7 lengths to make up, and he done it so quick.
Michael Tabor leading them in. Congratulations. What a horse you got here.
Yeah, it's fabulous performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the moment.
Well, no hanging about here. Some really quick horses. The Verti probably had 2 lengths on them by the time they'd gone a left. Stravinsky none the worse for trying to get out underneath the stalls. They all want a quick one. Cortacky Castle also well away. And the other grey, Night Shot, running there. But by the time they'd settled down, the one with the raw speed was a Verti. Lock Angel just tracking him. Night Shot there. Cortacky Castle, Tipsy Creek with the blinkers just sitting in 4th, and St Marine just about got to the head of affairs at this point. And Stravinsky, maybe just for a stride, he looked as though he was a little bit tapped for speed, but when, oh, and there goes Rambling Bear. And that was the best part of the whole race, the fact that Ray Cochrane got up again. But at this point, this horse who'd been running over a mile, I don't think there's any doubt about his stamina, and maybe we'll see him back over longer distances. The more the race progressed, the more he began to assert his authority. And they had a decent winning mood yesterday, but nothing quite like as impressive as this horse today.
Neck and 1 1.25 lengths, I beg your pardon, the winning distance. And Stravinsky, a horse with a classic pedigree and classic potential. 12 months ago turns out to be a sprinter by Nureyev. Umpteen good horses by him. The Downfire, the groom, was originally trained by Luca Cumani, very good horse, and had all the ingredients of being a tip-top miler, but horses, as we say so often, the old cliche, they aren't machines, they make fools of us, and even fooled his connections, Aidan O'Brien. He wasn't a Guineas horse, but he's some sprinter.
Aidan O'Brien's here. We've now confirmation again that he really can blaze this horse.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable acceleration. It's just, you never see in horses his pickup.
Have you ever had a horse faster? I know you have horses, we've been in the car with you. Have you ever had a horse go faster?
No, I've never ever seen a horse accelerate the way he's able to accelerate. He's always been able to do it. It's just pure natural with him.
You have a clock, don't you, there? You have a special time run. Does he actually show it on the clock as well at home?
Oh, yeah, he's very fast.
The Tote International, a huge morning plunge on that. Late Jasser, fortunes in the ring for the Tote Ebor handicap, Europe's richest distance handicap. Nearest to us is Paramani Star, one of the pace horses early on. Richard Quinn takes a deep breath just in time, goes from the front as well. Last chance for Theatre World. Now 14-1 from 12s. running late here. Obviously the antics of Ivana's pace didn't help, but owner of the favourite, maroon and white colours, we've seen those before. Sheikh Mohammed anxiously looking down at the start to see Jassur coming forward. He's installed, he's okay. So, Tote Ebor handicap, £170,000 in prize money. And they kick away. Gentleman Venture a little bit slow to go. Theatre World on the very wide outside was also a little bit dawdly in the stalls. Early on, the pace next to the rails is with Salmon Ladder, and up on the outside going well just in time with Mardani up with the pace and just taken back now Ivana's pace. Jassur is a long way off the pace and a whole host of horses to come through. But as they sort themselves out in a prominent position, Genghis Khan. But it's going to be Salmon Ladder that runs the rail. Genghis Khan, white cap, the big white face, Arabian Moon showing up out wide. We have Eminence Grease going with just in time. Then Ivana's pace out wide on the track is Prince Alex, followed through by Diaghilev. And at this stage, Theatre World a little bit mulish and is well in arrears, the Irish runner. Stable companion in a good position, Genghis Khan. But they continue the progress down the far side. Jassur, the favourite, is next to the rails towards the back of the main pack. Detached by 5, though, is Theatre World. It'd be a miraculous run for him to win. But Mardani gains the rail, the inside, and shares the pace with just in time going 1 and 2. Then up on the outside races Eminence Grease in a prominent position. Salmon Ladder the inner, followed through by Travel Mate and Arabian Moonbang there. Prince Alex midfield. On the outside, Kadir with chances, and holding a position is Glen Mead. Mowbray's wide on the track. Jassur and Paramani Star and Vicious Circle through on the inner. Also Gentleman Venture well down the pack, and Diaghilev midfield on the outer. Continuing their run with half a way to go. Jassur, the 7-to-1 favourite, starts to make a bit of ground on the inside, but they begin the spin out of the turn, and it's just in time with Eminence Breeze the outside going 1 and 2. Arabian Moon and Salmon Ladder, and then Glen Mead and Kadir behind these. Mardani is bang there too. Through on the inside, Genghis Khan, Paramani Star. Frank is going to have to find a magic passage as they come past the 5 on the inner. Red Ramona starts to get closer. Don't rule out Rainbow Ways. All in with chances. Umpteen, they've all got chances. Top of the home run. And as they come down the home run with 4 to go, Jassur will be coming on the inside, but it's Eminence Grease that's the first to commit, and really commit too. In second place, the yellow colour Salmon Ladder. Here comes Arabian Moon with a run. Diaghilev, Red Sleeves with a run. Second from the right, Jassur with a run. And Hill Farm Blues, one of the big outsiders. Paramani Star is there too. Vicious Circle with chances. 15 in with a chance as Eminence Grease goes for home. Travel Mate narrowly beaten into the Summerland Plate with a run. Mowbray with a run on the left as well. On the far right, Vicious Circle, the white colours, is digging deep. They come down towards the final furlong marker. Far side, Vicious Circle, centre field is Eminence Grease and Mowbray and Travel Mate battling. Then behind these Gentlemen Venture, it's a wave of 4. Vicious Circle the far side has the lead by a length. Travel Mate running another big race, but it's going to be pipped yet again. At the line, Vicious Circle wins the Tote Ebor. Travel Mate second, another big handicap. Mowbray and Eminence Grease, and then Gentleman Venture, Rainbow Wise, and Theatre World absolutely flew in the final quarter mile, beating Hill Street Blues, Arabian Moon, Jassur, Salmon Ladder, Diaghilev, Red Ramona, Paramani Star. Ivana's pace disappointing, never got into the race. After these came just in time. After that one, Genghis Khan, Kadir, Glen Mead and Madari finished last of all. And so at 11-to-1, the dream has been landed by Graham Bradley, asked to buy the winner of the Ebor. He's done just that. Great future as a bloodstock agent as Graham. Great future on the golf course, so Mark. Vicious Circle, the winner, in the colours of Mr. D. Metcalf and J. Samuel, trained by Luca Kimani, a horse that has been really handled well by Luca, who loves nothing better than having a go at a big handicap. He's the winner. Spare a thought for Travel Mate, second in another big handicap. Third was number 9, Mowbray, a brave run. And fourth was number 18, Eminence Grease. There is a steward's inquiry to the outcome of this race. It might concern a little bit of barging in the final quarter mile centre field, but this Vicious Circle has got them all licked.
Vicious Circle returned the 11-to-1 joint fourth favourite, and today on the course was the biggest prize he ever was in the last 24 hours. Ladbrokes went 9-to-1 this morning, and Stowe to the Tope generally 8-to-1. It did touch 12-to-1 on the course, returned 11-to-1 joint fourth favourite. Vicious Circle beats Travel Mate, the long-time favourite, at 8-to-1 Travel Mate, though sent off second best as Chasseur wound up the 7-to-1 favourite. Mowbray solid 14-to-1 was third, and Eminence Grease for Cecil was fourth at 16-to-1. Vicious Circle gives Kevin Darley and Luca Cumani their first Tote Ebors.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. What was it like?